Make sure you download the Woodward Sports app in the App Store and the Google Play Store today. Take Woodward Sports with you wherever you go and listen live on your phone or mobile device.
Morning, everyone. You're tuning into the Woodward Sports Network and the Morning Woodward Show. Welcome. Happy Friday, you guys. Remember, you're also listening to this on the Roar 93.5 FM, 99.1 FM, and 94.7 HD2. Like I said, happy Friday. The weekend is here. You all did it. I'm so proud of you. But you know what I'm not proud of? That game last night. Stafford didn't look that great, in my humble opinion, and I was upset. Don't give me that look. That when he tried to throw the ball away and it got intercepted, crap.
Okay, that was an awful mistake.
No,
and he had an awful first 20, 25 minutes of the game.
Yeah, so that's
Second
bad
half,
for
he
Stafford.
was perfect.
I wouldn't say
On the road.
Perfect?
No,
Yeah,
it was not perfect.
Excuse me?
I watched the game with my
4
own two
drives,
eyes.
3 touchdowns? Excuse me?
I'm talking about his ability to throw the football. You see the passes to Deshaun Jackson?
Did he not play
underthrown.
with a freaking wrap on his index finger yesterday, or am I missing something?
No, that was
No,
before
you
the
did.
wrap.
No. After the wrap, he played even better. Like, this is my point. He came out, he didn't look good on a short week, coming off a bad loss to Arizona. They didn't look in sync. Nothing was working.
Early on, they didn't look in sync.
Yes, I'm acknowledging that.
Yeah.
But you guys are acting like he played some horrible game. He didn't.
Never said it was horrible. I just said it just didn't.
Not my
He said he
favorite
agrees.
Stafford game.
What? You guys
Not
are
my
hilarious.
favorite
Continue,
Stafford game.
Kennedy. Continue.
Anyway,
Excuse
well,
me.
I mean, I don't have much to say. The Rams did pull out a win, 26-17 over the Seahawks. But, yeah, I mean, can we talk about that finger, how it was flopping around? I hated that they kept replaying it and zooming on it.
I thought it was great.
I wanted to vomit.
Well, let's be honest. I mean, he was struggling already. He already had, 11 of 16 at the time, or 10 of 17, one of the two. And he had a touchdown and interception. Geno Smith comes in, basically does the same thing Russell Wilson did. So I don't think it played too much of a factor. Yes, you would prefer Russell Wilson out there, but if anything, they looked better when Geno Smith stepped on the field. They went down 98 yards. They got a score. They kind of had a chance. They took the 3 points and gave themselves an opportunity to get the ball back. They did, and Geno Smith threw an interception, and that was the game. So overall, it was a good game. It wasn't as high scoring as I expected it to be. Coming off a short week, the defenses played much better than I thought they would. I do have to say, Matthew Stafford and the Rams, they really clicked in the second half. Again, 3 drives, 3 touchdowns on 4 drives to open up the second half on the road against a team that's won their last 9 straight Thursday night football games, against a team that is a division rival, against a team that was 2-2 heading into the game. It was a must-win for both teams, and the Rams walked away on the road with a win. Am I missing something? Is it because Stafford didn't throw for 3 touchdowns or 4 touchdowns that he had a bad game? Because he had an awful first quarter. I will say that. Second quarter was...
I would say first half.
Awful
I would say
first quarter,
half.
bad second quarter. I mean, awful.
Awful and bad. I mean, it's a bad first half.
But
Yeah.
not that it's great, but the point is he was great in the second half. He
Better,
made all
yeah,
the No, not better. He was great in the second half.
It was great, yeah.
He led
better
the
than
team
he was
down.
the first half.
All right.
I'm with Jeff.
You
I
guys
don't
are
know what
hilarious.
you want.
You guys are actually hilarious. You don't. I am convinced you didn't watch the game. Anyways, poor first half, a great second half, which gave them 3 touchdowns on 4 drives. Again, how many times do I have to repeat myself? He goes down. He's finding Robert Woods all day. Cooper Kupp shows up late in the game. Tyler Higbee for a touchdown. Sony Michel and Darrell Henderson get the run game going. The Rams looked pretty balanced last night. It was a good win. And again, this is on the road against a team that you expect to finish the year with a winning record fighting for the wild card spot. Seattle's no pushover. They won the division last year. So let me move on from the Rams a little bit. I want to talk about Seattle. Guys, what did I talk about yesterday on the show regarding Pete Carroll and the Seattle Seahawks? You guys remember? No, nothing? Thanks, crickets. Okay. I said that I think it's time for Seattle to move on from Pete Carroll.
Yep, yeah, we did discuss this, yep.
And you guys are unbelievable. I believe it's time for Pete Carroll to just walk away from the game at the end of the year. I think that's it. You're not getting back the Legion of Boom. You're not getting back, the good old days of Russell Wilson, Pete Carroll. Everything was all great. It's played out. They haven't been able to get back to where they want to be. And if they want to get back to a Super Bowl, an NFC Championship game, I think they need to go out and find a young, up-and-coming, dynamic head coach. a new face, a fresh mind, something new, and give something new to Russell Wilson to work with. I think that's very important. That was one of my takeaways from last night. The season will play out. Maybe they're a wild card team. Maybe they're not. Maybe they win the division. Who knows? Still a long season ahead. But I still think no matter what happens this year, I think it's time for Pete Carroll to walk away from that project. He's done a great job. Hall of Fame head coach in the NFL. Multiple Super Bowl appearances, a Super Bowl ring. Should have been 2, regardless. Time to move on from Pete Carroll, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, you're not wrong, especially this. I mean, Pete Carroll, what we know is the Seattle way is you run the ball, you play defense, and especially last year it was the Russell show, and even this year got a new offensive coordinator, and Russell, he threw the interception in the first, I believe he dislocated his middle finger in the second half, didn't play the second half, barely, and then Geno Smith got in, but Seattle's a tough place to play, so you give them credit. I just thought personally they had a short week. The Rams are coming in; they're going away to Seattle. The first half, Matthew Stafford was missing a lot of throws. I believe Stafford usually hits, usually makes. I think he underthrew Deshaun Jackson. That was late in the third quarter, I think. But Deshaun Jackson made a beautiful catch. He stopped. Jamal Williams couldn't get there, or Jamal Adams.
Yep.
And I mean that was he got bailed out on that throw. But other than that, he had the mistake in the red zone we can talk about, which he meant to throw the ball away, and it got right to where Quandre Diggs could get it. And which, credit to Quandre Diggs for picking off his former teammate. But more than that, the Rams were just bad on third down. They were 2 for 10. They were trying to get things going early, and they struggled. They missed the field goal. It ended at 9-7. It was a very low-scoring game, lower than what me and Adham predicted. I said 27-24. It was 26-17. But as soon as Russell Wilson left the game, I didn't expect Geno Smith to at least lead a perfect drive, his first drive. It was absolutely incredible. I was happy to see Geno Smith looking like baby Russell Wilson until the last play. Then it was Geno Smith. He came back to earth a little bit when Tyler Lockett tripped on that route, and he just kind of overthrew it and sealed the game from that point on. But no, the Rams coming off, they looked rough in that Arizona game. We can all acknowledge that offensively. And then now coming into Seattle, they struggled earlier, and they got the win. So you give credit where it's due. They're 4-1.
Why are we glossing over?
What? I haven't even finished my.
What you're glossing over Matthew Stafford's performance along with the Rams? Like I'm not understanding.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Are you gonna sit here and say the Rams played well? Like this? So we're gonna talk about how well they played, because that's the last thing I'm talking about in this game.
Okay, we're not gonna give credit to a team that goes on the road.
Yeah, you give credit.
Beats a team. One of the hardest places to play in the NFL.
Did I not just say that?
They beat. Let me finish. They beat a team that's won their last straight Thursday night football games. Everything going against the Los Angeles Rams, coming off a short week after an awful loss against Arizona.
I picked them to win.
They come out. Well, yeah, of course.
Not like everything's against the Rams. I mean, they were supposed to. I picked them to win. It was closer than what we expected.
That's not the point. They come out. They look flat. Matthew Stafford makes a horrible end zone turnover, something you've seen before in his past.
Yeah.
And what does he do? Something he usually never does. He actually recovered. And he led the team down. And he threw for almost 300 yards in the second half.
Well,
I mean, come on. Look, I'm not saying he played. It was an A+ game from Stafford. It was an F first half. It was an absolute F. He played awful.
There you go.
But the second half was damn near perfect. And that
it was good. It was a good second half.
That is the sign of a quarterback. An elite quarterback. You can overcome adversity early on in the game. Look, maybe you weren't glossing over, however you want to define it. But I'm not going to sit here on a Friday morning coming off a Thursday night game on a short week for a team that got their butts handed to them at home, travel away to Seattle, one of the hardest places to play, come out flat. The defense keeps them in it. Both teams making mistakes early on. They go into halftime, make second half adjustments, and they come out blazing. That is impressive. That's what good football teams do.
No one's disagreeing.
You're glossing over Matthew Stafford's...
Put the camera on me.
No, you're glossing over Matthew Stafford's...
Hold on.
You're glossing over Matthew Stafford's performance last night.
You can't... I told you... This is what I said. Seattle's a very tough place to play. Did I not say that? I did. Okay, I'll finish
I'm not talking about Seattle. I'm talking about Matthew Stafford.
Hold on. This is where I'm giving credit to Matthew Stafford. A short week. Seattle's a tough place to play. You have a bad first half. Finally, you admit it's an F. You said first quarter, then we moved it to half. All right, that's
How
good.
do I start off the show saying he had an awful first half, and now because I gave it a letter grade?
No, hold on. See, now let me finish. So he had an awful first half. We mutually agree there. He bounced back. I said that. He had a great second half. Led him to a victory. So there's nothing negative to say about Matthew Stafford. I just thought, even after he hurt his index finger.
You started the show by saying, are you really going to have this conversation about Matthew Stafford and say he played a great game?
That is the number one thing you took from last night, that he played a great game. It was only Matthew Stafford.
Oh, my goodness. Okay, again, let me walk you through the first.
We're just going to gloss over Matthew Stafford? Well,
listen, this guy played an awful first half, correct? Now, what is a key component about being an elite quarterback? Being able to bounce back and overcome adversity. He does it on the road against a winning football team. Let me finish. Stop being rude, actually, because you're missing the whole point. The guy plays an awful first half, comes out in the second half, and absolutely torches Seattle. And we're not going to give him any credit. We're just going to say, yeah, good win on the road, clap it up. They should have won. It was the Rams, Like, totally gloss over that the guy came out in the second half after getting bandaged up and completely throws the ball everywhere across the field, all over Seattle. I mean, no, I'm not dealing with that this morning. That's ridiculous.
Well, there were some throws. Listen, I told you personally. I said I'm going to give credit to Matthew Stafford. You gotta listen to what I'm saying. I said I'm giving credit to Matthew Stafford. It's there. It's there. No, did I say Matt? Did anybody hear? Art, you can attest to it. Did I say Matthew Stafford had a bad game? Did anybody? I said he had a great game last night. He had a bad first half.
Let me just say this though. Let me try and play mediator. Adam, do you feel like you're giving Stafford more credit because you have them picked to win the Super Bowl?
I don't have them picked to win the Super Bowl. I have the Bills winning the Super Bowl.
But you have the Bills against?
The Rams.
Okay. So do you think that you're being a little biased?
No. This is guys. Okay. What do we talk about preseason? Okay. We talked about, can Matthew Stafford change the narrative that's been labeled on him, correct? Was he the problem in Detroit, or was Detroit the problem? Let's be real. We all know most of it is Detroit. But the point is this guy needs to save his career and change the narrative, right? So what are you looking for? You're looking for him to beat good teams on the road, win his division. You're looking for him to have a winning record against winning teams, which at this moment he does. He beat the Bucks. He beat the Colts on the road. Two road games he's already won. Away to Indianapolis, away to Seattle. Those are good wins.
Yeah, they are good wins.
Seattle was more impressive. They beat the defending Super Bowl champions. They lost at home, of course, to Arizona. But the point is, what was the whole conversation going into the season? It's not about he's going to look good early on. It's can he deliver? Can he bounce back? Can he play through adversity throughout the year? Is he going to be able to lead this team when they're having a rough game? Is he going to be able to come out and lead them down the field?
He's the comeback king.
No, it's not about being the comeback king, guys.
He can lead his team.
It's about him being able to deliver over the entire course of the season for the Rams. Can he win them a division? Can he win them a few playoff games?
He's still yet to. Yeah, we got to figure it out.
Well, of course, the season has to play out. But last night, you saw something you haven't really seen in Detroit. Stafford coming out completely flat, and this isn't Stafford having a bad first three quarters, then putting up numbers and still losing the game. No. This is him looking awful in the first half, coming out in the second half, throwing for over 250 yards, and leading his team to victory. I really don't understand
against the 32nd ranked defense. It was impressive. I mean, listen, Matthew Stafford had a good game. And he threw for almost 400 yards, 25 for 37. It was just some throws to me. Obviously, you can blame the finger. Just a little. He just looked off throwing the football. At second half, he had a lot of completions. Robert Woods, 12 catches. He played extremely well. Finally, we get some Robert Woods bouncing back. He was complaining last week about his targets. I don't think he's complaining Thursday night about the targets he got. He got 14 targets. But it has nothing to do with, listen, as much as I love Matthew Stafford, we're not here to talk about Matthew Stafford. He had a great game. But it's more importantly, Rams defense, they finally started to wake up, get things going.
I do agree there.
This is what we were waiting on, especially versus Arizona. But let's be honest, Arizona has a tremendously better defense than the Seattle Seahawks. I think Seattle ranks 31st in rushing, 29th in passing. I mean, they're total to be like 30th ranked in the entire
Rams
league.
are coming in looking not good at all.
No, I'm talking about the Seahawks. They were ranked
Rams,
last.
I believe, were 27th ranked defense going into that.
But
That's why I really thought it'd be a much higher scoring game. I mean, especially on a short week, you have to keep in mind you're not getting much prep in. You're resting your players. You got to get them to be fresh for the Thursday night game. It's very difficult for coaches, and I really thought this game would cover the over much easier, but hey,
it looked like it would with Geno Smith too. Geno was moving the ball on that secondary. I was a little worried there, but I mean, listen, Geno had a chance to come down and win the game. He obviously turned the ball over. It didn't go in his favor, but now the Rams stand 4-1. Credit to them. It looked a little shaky early on. They the Seattle Seahawks got absolutely robbed right before the half when they got the offsides call. And
there was a lot of bogus, not only calls, but really mistakes from both teams.
Yeah.
We've seen in the red zone, whether it was the special teams unit. How many times
It was
did
a
they
weird
kick
game.
it?
Yeah.
On the kickoff, how many times did they kick it out of bounds? It was a wild game, but overall, it was we talked about this after Tampa Bay. I know we got to get to break, but we talked about this after the win over Tampa Bay. What it does for the locker room. Remember, you give away your quarterback and 2 first-round picks for this guy. If you're not 4-1 at this point, you're looking in the mirror like, man, what do we get? Like, why are we 3-2? Like, this was a must-win. You need to win on the road against your division rivals, but it was a good win overall. The Rams were favorites for a reason. They're much better than Seattle. Down 4, they're losing, yes, but I wouldn't call it adversity. Playing like absolute dog crap, and then coming out in the second half throwing for over 250 yards isn't playing through. I mean, that is impressive, and that is something you didn't see often in Detroit. So excuse me for showing up today, which I typically don't do, and give Matthew Stafford credit. Excuse me. You guys are full of yourselves in the chat. Let's get out of here.
I'm just going to drop this to tick Adham off a little more. Jared Goff beat the Seattle Seahawks in Seattle in the playoffs last year with a broken finger or messed up finger. But you know what? I don't know. So people on the Rams have this ability.
Jared Goff who threw for under 200 yards and the one who Cam Akers ran for over 140 yards?
Baby.
Oh, that Jared Goff.
Like Sony Michel and Henderson.
You guys are so fun.
They were running the ball like crazy.
Yeah. Running the ball like crazy, averaging, 4.1 yards a carry? Okay.
No,
Kennedy, get us out of here. I'm not going to deal with
30 carries
combined. You guys, coming up next, we're going to talk about all these injuries that are happening with the Lions team and how it will affect us going into this weekend. But before we go, we need to cool down the room. We know some people that could do that, Jeff.
Listen, if you know anybody who's looking for a job, anybody, especially, that is looking for a job at a trade school, Northwestern Tech, you can start a new career in an industry that is always essential. It's the heating and cooling industry. Learn more today by visiting northwesterntech.edu.
Tony is a third-generation logger that has a simple, practical approach to life and work. That's why his Coast DX342 knife is perfect for him. The stainless steel blade is rust-resistant and made for all-weather use. And the double roll-lock safety ensures that it will never inadvertently close when he doesn't want it to. That's why Coast is trusted tough.
Welcome back, everybody. You're listening to the Morning Woodward Show right here on the Woodward Sports Network. All right, as promised, how the injuries will affect the Lions. We're planning to go without Penn Sewell right now, and the Lions sound like they're going to be without 3 offensive linemen. So you guys kind of tell me what this means for us. It can't be good.
Oof, I mean, where do we start here? I mean, you're expected to play without Penn Sewell. You're already missing Decker. Probably going without Ragnow.
Yep.
Matt, we're going to preview the game much more later on, but this is a problem. A team that's decimated by injuries, that is going through a rebuild and trying to find its, what are we? You're trying to identify yourself right now. And, that's something, let's be real here. Do you really know what a Dan Campbell football team looks like so far, 4 games into the year? You don't. And I don't think you're going to find that out this year. It's very difficult. Too many injuries. You're unsure at the skill position. The secondary is decimated. You just lost your best edge rusher. I mean, this is not. It's not good. Yes, you can say, well, Dan Campbell's teams, they fight, they play. Okay, cool. Like most NFL teams do that. But how are you game planning? How are you scripting against teams? What's your X factor? And I don't know what that is yet from the Detroit Lions. And these injuries really are just going to leave me with more question marks, Jeff. I'm not sure what to take away from the injuries outside of it's just going to hold them back. It's really going to hold them back.
Yeah, they're missing. I mean, listen, let's just start with this offensive line. You're missing Penn Sewell, Frank Ragnow, and now Taylor Decker. And let me tell you the stats when Jared Goff is under pressure. His quarterback rating is 45.9, which is near the bottom of the entire NFL. So he struggles tremendously. And like most quarterbacks, when you have pressure on you, your whole job becomes that much harder. But with Jared Goff, he's so limited, and he relies so much on a clean pocket that it's going to be rough, man. You got Danielle Hunter, who's right now I think he's got 5 sacks in 4 games, so he's on a tear. And without Penn Sewell, who yes he gave up 2 sacks, 7 pressures, but you're hoping he gets better game to game. So I don't know who's going to start. It's going to be all all shift around offensive line. You're going to have Jonah Jackson and Vitae, but other than that, that worries me because you're trying to get the run game going. Your offensive line is your heart of the team, essentially, because defensively, you got really nothing. Jared Goff is what Jared Goff is, and to make him be successful, you need a run game and you need protection. Where does that start? The offensive line. Even if guys are open, he's overthrowing them and whatnot. Offensive line still gives him. You saw what it did against San Francisco and Green Bay. He got a lot of time to throw the football. But yeah, it's scary, man. Danielle Hunter, this Vikings defense, they're ninth ranked in rushing, so they're going to be able to stop the rushing attack. They're not scared of it, so that's what worries me. Are you going
to be able to run the ball?
Are you going to have Jared Goff attempt another 30+ attempts this game?
30, I think, minimum. I don't know how this game plan is going to work. I was really thinking at home last night, how are the Lions going to open up against Minnesota? If they are down Penei Sewell, this is bad. This is actually really bad. You're not going to be able to run the ball. Let's just start there. Maybe you get a few good plays, but realistically, you're probably going to average anywhere from 3 to 3.5 yards if you're lucky per carry. Jamal Williams, are we going to see a lot of him in the backfield running, or is he going to be a pass-catching option? Are you going to see more DeAndre Swift? Because, let's be honest, you're not going to have a choice. You're probably going to be down early. This is really bad. I don't like how the timing of these injuries right now for the Detroit Lions. Again, I told you guys coming into the year, I wanted to see player development, team development, and just growth across the board. I didn't really care about the win-loss column. And here we are. Let's be real. We're 4 games in. You're 0-4. You've shown some good moments and some really bad moments. And you can argue with me, well, they could be 2-2. They could be 1. It doesn't matter. They are what they are right now. Stop. Okay? And what you need to understand is this roster, if it continues to get hurt like this, you're not winning a game this year. This is not good. Like jokes aside with this team, you don't want to go 0-17 year one. And my goodness, the injuries make it a possibility. It's not that the players are awful. It's not that the coaching staff is that awful. It's, my goodness, look at the amount of injuries. Now, do I think they can still win 1, 2, maybe even 3 games? I think so. I think they'll get healthy at some point and win a few, especially later on in the year where maybe teams have already clinched their playoff spots, whatever it may be. And you can probably circle the Thanksgiving game as probably maybe your first or second one. We'll have to wait and see. But point is, I'm not sure how to identify this team yet with all these injuries. And that's very frustrating. And we talked about this yesterday and really the last few weeks. How do you consider somebody a bust, Jeff? Is it just on player performance, or could I also make the argument that it's his off-the-field issues? It's his injury problems. There's many factors we can agree that go into being a bust. Well, there's many factors into how your career plays out, not only as a head coach, but as a GM. Are the players you're drafting always hurt? Head coach, are your players always hurt? Unavailable? At the end of the day, you're held accountable for it. And no one's going to hold Dan Campbell accountable year one, no. But by Thanksgiving of 2022, I want to know the identity of this football team. And I think I could figure it out as long as they just put a product on the field at least. Too many injuries, really. Minnesota, we talked about it yesterday. They opened up at 7.5 points. Kennedy yesterday read it off at 8.5 points. Last night, it was 9.5. It was 9.5 on major sportsbook. This is going to be one of the heaviest bet spreads of the weekend. Minnesota to win ugly. I'll give my prediction later on in the show, but this is tough. This is tough.
And more importantly, Tyrell Williams still out. Khalif Raymond is probably going to be wide receiver 1 for this team with Quintez Cephas. So there's more problems with this ball club than just missing your offensive line. There's a lot of pieces. And what worries me is, we'll get to later is, other people getting injured and Romeo Okwara and how much of the pass rush he generates and what you're going to be missing to get after Kirk Cousins. But yeah, it's not good. No doubt, especially how important this offensive line to just make things move. And you were kind of waiting on Decker to get back sooner than later. They're definitely going to be playing Jamal Williams a lot more. He's just a better pass blocker than DeAndre Swift, so expect him to get more snaps. He'll probably be more effective in the pass game and maybe even the run game, but they got to get Swift going a little earlier. It's going to be interesting to see the rookie step up, Levi Alim, without Romeo Okwara, who's generating, I believe, 60% of the pressure on any quarterback in any of the games this year. If you're a Lions fan, you're worried, especially this week doing a Minnesota team who's so hungry for a win, man. It's been every game they've played, they pretty much deserve. They've been in it. So this might be the first game they get out early and they run away. I don't know. It's going to be very tough. They're going to Minnesota is tough. It's tough.
I have a question for you, man. So we're all trying to figure out what's causing these injury problems. Now, I don't want to point fingers at anybody. Could be the strength and conditioning coach. Could be the chefs in the building, what they're feeding them. I don't know. But I think it's you, actually. That's the problem.
Yeah.
I think your 10-7 limo BS to start the year is causing all these bad things to happen to the Detroit Lions. You're the villain.
Yeah, and last night I went full Rams mode, and I picked Stafford to go all the way. And yeah, I'm willing to live with that. I'll take the, I think once they get the tattoo, they'll instantly start doing better, and they might get 10 wins by, the end of the season. So yeah, I agree.
Do you know location of tattoo?
Do I know the location?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm getting it on like right above my knee, because kneecaps,
Oh, well, that's boring. Can you put it on your butt cheek?
I mean, I could, but that'd probably be a bad idea.
Can we do like a vote, or is it D-Mac's decision? Is it Darren's decision, or is it like popular
No, it's
vote?
my decision, like where it goes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
it's my body,
you make
my
the
choice.
decision, but can you put in the 0-17 tattoo like my initials or something?
What's the next topic, Kennedy? Can you tell us?
Kennedy, we gotta go.
All right, we'll go to break. Coming up next, you guys, I've got my Notre Dame sweatshirt on. Thank goodness Stick isn't in the booth to play that dang boo noise at me. But we have college football. We're talking about it coming up next. Not Notre Dame, of course, though. We're talking about MSU taking on Rutgers. So stick around for that. But, there's a place where you could probably bet on that game. I bet Adam knows about it.
Oh, yeah. Let me tell you about MyBookie, guys. It's the only place where you need to be betting. Bet from anywhere, anytime using MyBookie. Sign up today using code Woodward, and they'll match your first deposit up to 50%. You put in $100, they'll give you $50. You put in $200, they'll give you $100. And I'll give you a hint, guys. There's a good game to bet this weekend. If last night, if you were better like me and you took the Rams on the spread or the money line, you made some money. Also, this weekend, you have some options, whether you want to take the Vikings to cover. Maybe it gets up to 10.5, 11.5 point favorites, and you want to take your hometown Detroit Lions to cover. We'll have to wait and see how the weekend plays out, but wherever it does, it should happen on MyBookie. Guys, if you do have a gambling problem, please call the Michigan Problem Gambling Helpline at 1-800-270-7117.
Okay, you thirsty little spin goblins. I want you to pedal into the next dimension. Spin it! Spin! Spin! Uh-oh! Carmen's falling behind. Let's give her the hiss of shame. Spin! Spin! Spin till you bleed!
Don't ride the bike of shame. Come to Planet Fitness and find your own lane with tons of equipment, free fitness training, and no hissing. Join today for just $10 a month.
They're still fighting. Welcome back, though. You guys. Wait.
What's the word I'm looking for? Cordial through the break. Is that the correct word?
Sure. We'll say that.
All right. Well, I'm sure they're going to get into more Thursday night football talk, but we're here to talk about Michigan State taking on Rutgers tomorrow at noon. You guys preview this game for me. Who do you think's going to win? Do you have a score prediction? Give it all to me. Let's start with you, Jeff.
Well, the Rutgers just got absolutely obliterated by Ohio State last week. They gave up 5 touchdowns through the air to C.J. Stroud, which, say what you want about C.J. Stroud, he made him look poor. So Noah Vedral got picked off 3 times. Ohio State secondary. Say what you want about that secondary. Found success against Noah Vedral. I mean, come on. I got confidence. As long as, they get number 9 going, Kenneth Walker III, who currently leads the entire nation in rushing yards. So he's got 2 games with 3+ touchdowns. So as long as you get number 9 going, Peyton Thorne kind of can just do his thing. I got confidence Peyton Thorne can get the win through the air against Rutgers. But they are gritty, man. I mean, they're going to play not against Ohio State. They're going to look to bounce back, definitely. They're going to try and, copy the performance against Michigan. They want to just still stay competitive throughout the game. They don't want to lose 40 points, especially to Peyton Thorne. He shouldn't have too many issues moving the ball downfield, to my knowledge. I believe the Rutgers bounce back. They play a little better than they did, but I think Michigan State, they just find a way to win. They always have, and I believe this game is at State, if I'm not mistaken. I just want to make sure.
Yeah, Rutgers going into the Ohio State game, they were like a good defense. I believe they're only giving up like 14 or 17 points a game. Then they gave up a 50-piece against Ohio State. I expect them to bounce back. Rutgers are a good football team. They're gritty. I think they're going to fight. They're going to make it interesting with Michigan State. But I got to say, Peyton Thorne, to me, is going to be the X factor in this game. Not Kenneth Walker, not Jaden Reed. I'm going to tell you why, Peyton Thorne. He needs to limit turnovers. He only has 1 interception on the year. He's done a very good job, but he needs to make, he needs to continue to make the correct reads and the correct throws and the correct decisions. This needs to continue if Michigan State really want to consider themselves a top 10 team. Right now they're ranked 11 in the AP polls. This is this is a really good time right now for the Big Ten overall. All the teams looking really good. You have the Penn State-Iowa matchup, I believe, 3 versus 4 this weekend. That's a big deal. Lots of good stuff going on. But my score prediction for Michigan State versus Rutgers, I think this is low-scoring, gritty. I'm going to take 24-18 Michigan State. I don't think Rutgers is going to give up as much. Kenneth Walker right now leading the nation in rushing, like you said, Jeff, averaging 6.8 yards a carry. Good luck. But Greg Schiano, I think, is going to get this team ready to play, coming off, again, a really bad Ohio State loss. We always talk about trap games. Just as a fan in general, you're always like, wow, that's a trap game. If you're a Michigan State fan, playing a 3-2 Rutgers team, coming off a bad loss to Ohio State, you got to bring your A game. I need to see Michigan State come out and give an A+ performance, because I think an A- performance puts them in a situation where they're only winning by maybe 3, 4, 5, 6 points. So we'll have to wait and see how the game plays out. I'm going to take State to win. I think they continue this. I don't see them showing up to East Lansing on Devil's Night not undefeated. It's very hard for me to imagine that. We'll have to wait and see, but I'm going to take State. Jeff?
Yeah, this is at Rutgers anyway, but regardless, I agree with every one of your points. The Rutgers, we mutually agree, they're going to come up, they're going to show a whole different game. They're not going to let you beat them up. I mean, every game they've played so far, they've either won dominantly or they've played a team close in Michigan. So they haven't had a 52-13 loss. They're going to wake up, smack themselves in the face, and move on against Michigan State. They got them at home, and I think they play better. But you know what? I'll have State pulling it off. I'll say 27 for 17. You know what? 27-17. I'll say that, or 28-17. Either one we want to do. I think they get 2 scores and a field goal. It's just really about starting Noah Vedral and keeping him throwing picks. So we'll see, though. We'll see.
Yeah, again, Rutgers are gonna have to limit their turnovers as well. They're gonna have to play solid defense. Can you stop Jaden Reed? Can you stop Kenneth Walker from running all over you? Again, a lot of things are going in Michigan State's favor. I think their team travels well on the road. They've already proven it against Northwestern, against Miami. Rutgers shouldn't be any different. I don't want to say it's a trap game, but hey, you really need to open up your ears and your eyes and ears on this one. You don't want to walk in there, go a quick 3 and out, give them momentum. You want to go in there, walk away with at least 3 points, settle down the crowd, and play some good defense. Start running the ball, get your run game going, get Kenneth Walker in open space. It's going to be a good game. I'm excited to watch. The game. Let's move on to Penn State, Iowa, Jeff. I brought it up a little earlier. Number 3 versus number 4 in the nation. Am I correct on that?
Yep.
So huge implications here. Now, forget the winner of this game. Let's just, in its totality, how does it affect the other teams in the Big Ten? Right? So Michigan doesn't play Iowa this year, correct? But they do play Penn State. So if you're Michigan and you're trying to build your resume, well, you would prefer to play Penn State when they're undefeated later on in the year than maybe a Penn State that has 1 or 2 losses, one being to Iowa, and maybe they slip up after that. I'm not sure. I'm just hypothetical here. State, really similar situation. You're kind of relying on the team you're going to play to win. You want that strength of schedule to look good. Either way, regardless, these teams are going to be quality wins if they're beaten by a Michigan or a Michigan State later on in the year. But implication-wise, if this is like a 17-16 game, Jeff, a 24-23, 21-20, something really close, Jeff, the team that loses, how far back do they fall in the AP poll? And are they considered, will they be considered for, let's say, a college football playoff appearance as a 1-loss non-conference champion if you have multiple 1-loss teams around the country? Does the Big Ten garner that respect, or does the SEC get in before the Big Ten in that scenario? Or do you have the SEC winner, you have the Big Ten winner, you have probably the Big 12 winner? We'll have to wait and see. Maybe Pac-12, depends. Oregon lost, so that changes the whole landscape. But regardless, who's going to be that 1-loss non-champion team? Is it going to be a Georgia? Is it going to be an Alabama? Or is it going to be a Penn State, Iowa, Ohio State? I'm not sure yet. The season has to play out. But how does that affect? If it's a blowout, Well, what does that do for the Big Ten? I think it's not a good thing. I think this game needs to be really close. What do you think?
Yeah, I agree. You already have what? You got Iowa, Penn State, Michigan State. All those guys flooding the Big Ten in this top 10 for college rankings. So Big Ten has played well this year, but I think it always comes down to the SEC and the teams they have and what the production they put out. But yeah, this game, it doesn't need to be a disaster. I mean, we got two good teams. I believe it's in Iowa. Yeah, it is in Iowa. It is going to be a close one, I believe. These two teams have absolutely put on a tear, and this is probably the matchup. This is the matchup I'm going to be watching this weekend. It's at 4 o'clock on Saturday. So you know what? It all comes down to this. If Penn State goes out there and looks absolutely disgusting, they would fall out of that top 10 immediately, because there is teams out of that top 10 that you can make an argument for squeezing into that top 10. So it's just up to this game being close and both teams putting on their best performance. I think Big Ten stays relevant in this.
Speaking of a garbage team that is playing against a team that's coming off a really bad performance, Ohio State plays this weekend. I don't know if you guys knew. They play Maryland. Maryland coming off a really bad loss. Jeff, thoughts on the game? Do you expect Ohio State to just run through Maryland, similar to how Maryland was ran over last week, or do you expect Maryland to bounce back? I mean, this is not good timing for Maryland, at least in my opinion.
No, you take a loss, you're 4-1. Now you're going against another team who's 4-1, who absolutely just beat the brakes off Rutgers University. So it's a bad situation to be in. You're versus the number 7th ranked team, so you're always in for some trouble. But I think it's at Ohio State. I think they absolutely beat the brakes off them. They go to 4-2, even though they got Tua's little brother over there playing for Maryland. It's not looking good.
What do you got, Kennedy? Talk to us about Ohio State.
Ohio State is going to kill them. Let's be honest. If their defense is on point, they're going to have literally zero issues. Zero. Goose egg. So I'm excited.
What do you think of C.J. Stroud so far?
You know, he's fine. I don't know. That's kind of all I have, is that he's fine. I'm more looking than anything this season at Ryan Day. What are you doing? Can you keep the urban, which is so he's not the one to talk about right now, but you know what I mean, his style of coaching and recruiting, can you keep it up? We shall see. I think that's the real question about Ohio State this year. I don't know. The coaching has to be there, because that's why they were so good in the past.
The big thing about Ohio State is, if you look at all 4 of their games or 5 of their games, every time they've asked C.J. Stroud to throw the ball over 40 plus times, they threw it 54 against Oregon. They lost. Every other win they have, it's under 30. It's usually in the 25s to get Travion Henderson going. So that's what C.J. Stroud is. You want to make his job a little easier as a freshman. He just had his first game without an interception against the Rutgers. He threw 5 touchdowns, no interceptions. Every other game he's had an interception.
They hit big plays. They really do. That's a problem regardless of whether Ohio State isn't as good as they were in the previous years.
Right.
They have the ability to beat you deep in a multitude of ways. It can be on an underneath route that goes a distance. Could be over the top throw. I mean, there's multiple ways they can do it. They can beat you deep at any point. They can hit a home run. And I came into the season saying Ohio State wouldn't finish undefeated in the regular season. I thought they had 1 or 2 losses up their sleeve. I still believe that. But, you don't just discredit an Ohio State. Look, they haven't lost in the conference yet.
Right.
And they still have the whole conference season to play. They have a loss against Oregon that doesn't look as great now, because Oregon just lost to Stanford a few weeks ago. So we'll have to wait and see how the season plays for Ohio State. They need to win the Big Ten if they want to be in the college football playoff. I think that's the obvious thing to say. But regardless, I think Ohio State is starting to find their own. I think they roll Maryland. It's going to be just as ugly as it was for Maryland last week, this week. So Big Ten's going to show out this weekend. I don't see the Big Ten losing many games outside of the Penn State Iowa game. You're gonna have to lose one of those, but we'll get to Michigan a little later on. But State, I expect to beat Rutgers. Ohio State, I expect to beat Maryland. We'll see how the season plays out. Kennedy?
Yeah, I mean, what we really need is we need to make sure that Henderson's still healthy. He's been cleared as good to go for this game, but
there's no rush.
Does that mean 80%?
There's no rush. If you can get him in for 10, 12, 14, 15 plays, just get his legs under him.
Yeah.
I'm okay with that. Again, I expect them to roll Maryland. If they're in a close game, I'm not sure how you handle that situation.
Yeah.
So,
like I said, if the pass rush stays consistent, the defense is looking good. I think we'll be solid. OH, everyone. Thank you, Fish.
Stay out, Fish.
Not yet, Adham.
All right, you guys. Well, when we come back, we're going to finally preview the Lions-Vikings game for you guys. But before we go, I need to tell you about my friends at Legacy Partners. When you guys watch football games, you get bombarded with insurance ads that claim they're going to save you the most money. But you know what? They're lying, because Legacy Partners Insurance saves you the most money. So they're independent. They shop between 7 and 10 carriers for your insurance needs to find you the best deal. So here's what you need to do if you want these insurance deals. You got to go to 586-209-4106 and tell them that Kennedy sent you, not Maz. Kennedy sent you, not Maz. Just for getting a quote and telling them that I sent you, you'll be put in a drawing for a $50 gift card. So go to legacypartnersins.com/Woodward today.
Hi, I'm David Hall from Hall Financial. And at Hall Financial, we treat our clients like family. And our number one priority is giving each of our clients 5-star service. Our passion for 5-star service, combined with our expertise, allows us to find the best possible solution for refinancing your home loan. We take the time to focus on both the individual and the numbers. We're going to walk you through the process and close your loan in half the time of our competition. Go to davidhallmortgage.com today.
Welcome back, everyone. As promised, we're going to get into the Lions versus Vikings game. They are away in Minnesota this week, which means you guys know we're going to be at O'Toole's, so come hang out. But that's at 1 p.m. on Sunday. You guys, we know there's going to be a ton of injuries, lots of good guys out. Probably won't be pretty, but I want to hear it from you, Jeff. What are your expectations for this game?
Well, you want to say they're going to fight for Dan Campbell, which I'm sure they'll try and make it competitive early on, but my God, it's tough to say, man. I mean, you're missing Romeo Okwara. Trey Flowers is returning after being out last week. Now you have a broken down offensive line. Penei Sewell's out, Ragnall's out, Decker's out, TJ Hawkinson's banged up. DeAndre Swift's dealing still with that groin injury. He's missing some practices. It ain't looking good. And you know what? Containing Justin Jefferson and Adam Thielen is already hard enough with this secondary, this very broken down secondary. Okudah, if he's already out. Bobby Price is playing safety, which he's given up unbelievable amounts of yards in the passing game. But you know what's even harder than that? Stopping Dalvin Cook, who last week is coming off of an injury, had a bad week last week, just kind of trying to return, get his legs under him. This week, he's hoping to do that against a team who, gave up 4 total touchdowns to Aaron Jones, who what a better team to do it against, and also a team who's middle of the pack in rushing. I believe the Lions will go down swinging. I want to say that, keep this game, somewhat in reach, but Romeo's so important to getting any type of pressure on the quarterback that him missing the entirety of the season, it worries me. And either two things can happen. You can either have other guys step up, Julian Okwara, Trey Flowers comes back, you get a pass rush by committee, Levi Alim, or the total opposite happens and Kirk Cousins has the cleanest pocket on planet Earth, and he absolutely torches us. So it is either one. But if I want to have to give you a final score, which I had to do this, I'm going Vikings 31. You know what? I'll give the Lions 21. I don't know why.
Really?
I don't know why.
Okay, disappointment.
I'm giving them 3 scores.
I'm not going to look too much into the score prediction, but I've got to say, for a team that scored 17, 17, and then 14, and now they're missing their offensive line. I mean, I find it really difficult for them to score, but maybe this is the game DeAndre Swift really blows up.
No, it's going to be
I think
tough.
that's what's going to happen.
Yeah.
I think you're going to see 7, 8 catches out of the backfield from DeAndre Swift, 12, 13 targets. I mean, how else are you going to move the ball downfield? And I am scared for one player this game. I am genuinely concerned for the health of one player. And, we can give him crap all we want. But Jared Goff may die on Sunday. And this is not a joke. Jared Goff may be killed on Sunday with the offensive line we expect to be protecting him. And keep in mind, guys, how many times do I have to say this? They are going to be down early, which means he's going to have to throw the ball. And it's going to be predictable. And they're going to send Danielle Hunter and that front 7, and Jared Goff may be killed. Now, I hope he doesn't die. I'm not wishing that for anybody. But this is going to be a rough game for the Lions, is where I'm getting at. I don't know what the score could be. They could lose 56-0. They could lose 21-18. They could make it close somehow. That's just the Lions. They defy logic, complete logic. The Lions make no sense at this point. But what does make sense is they are decimated by injury. They are already depleted at secondary. You can't double Justin Jefferson or Adam Thielen. And if you decide to double one of them, well, the other's going off for 150, 200. And last I checked, Dalvin Cook last year ran for over 200 yards against you. So really, what the Lions need, let's just say we acknowledge the loss. Let's just say it's a guarantee they lose. Well, the best way they could lose is Minnesota is running the ball effectively, the clock is milking, and the game doesn't turn ugly and it becomes like 45-7, 45-14. It just becomes a 28-3, 31-7 game. I don't know what it could be. I don't know how the Lions are really going to move the ball downfield. It's going to be a tricky game. I don't like it. You know, we talked about it before the season started. Dan Campbell, culture shift, making everybody feel appreciated. Really good things he's doing behind the scenes. Now, on the field, you didn't expect much, but you wanted to see development. Well, it's hard to see that when the players are all hurt. It's tough to see that when the coach is making the same mistakes now, and so are the players. You want to hold the players accountable. Well, my friend, you got to hold yourself accountable, too. The Rams made a big mistake last night. Nobody caught it. Nobody saw my tweet. Look how Seattle goes down, takes the 3 points, gives themselves an opportunity. Seattle gets a first down on the first run, but they could still afford to give up another one and still get the ball back. But they didn't. They got the ball back. Geno Smith threw an interception. We all know what happened. But still, they gave themselves a chance. That's all you can ask for. Against Baltimore, which is what I thought Sean McVay and the offense should have done, is on 2nd and 8, you should have given the ball to Matthew Stafford and say, win me the game. Put him on the spot. Hey, I want to win this football game. I don't want to run it the next 2 times. They know we're going to run it. Show me why I traded for you. They didn't. They decided not to do that. I disagreed with the decision, but regardless, they walked away with a win, right? Let's go back to the Lions. Dan Campbell's found himself in similar situations. And, you know, he's going to grow. He's going to have to learn how to be a head coach in the NFL. It's a total transition for him. But how is it going to look, Jeff, in the locker room and this, let's say, the culture of this building when you're 1-10, potentially 0-11? I mean, because that's where the team is heading. These injuries are not like they're out for 1-2 weeks and they'll come back and you'll have your team back again. These are significant season-ending injuries, multiple Achilles injuries, which means you're not even sure if you're going to get the same guy coming back next year. Will he be available in September or will he come back late October? This is a problem. This really is a problem. The injuries are going to kill this team. If I had to give you a final score prediction, honestly, I would go Vikings. I think they'd run the ball a ton with Cook and Madison. I say they win this football game 31-14, 31-13, one of the two. They just control the clock. They score on every other possession. I don't see Detroit being able to stop them. They get up early. They continue to run the ball, milk the clock. Game is over. It's not going to be pretty. So those are my thoughts on the game. Kennedy, your thoughts on Dan Campbell, the injuries leading up. It's unfortunate, and really how you expect this game to play out.
I'm not really expecting anything good. I don't know what we're going to do even if TJ Hawkinson, who Goff looks too often, is at, I don't know, 70-80%. I mean, he's coming off an injury too. I think he is expected to play, but that's not good. Yeah, I'm just really not sure what we're gonna do. I don't see this shaking out well for the Lions at all. But yeah, I mean, that's pretty much. It's going to be not pretty. That's all. I don't know. Is there anything else to say? Am I missing something?
No.
What could be good?
No, I mean, again, nobody in this building, in Detroit media especially.
I hate just sitting here and being like it's going to be bad.
Well,
but I'm trying
I mean,
to
that's
find
the reality of the team. Going into the season prior to injuries, it wasn't a good team. Now, depends who you listen to, but it wasn't a good team.
Right.
Now, considering the injuries, this is really bad. And no, you're not going to judge Dan Campbell year one. You're just not. You're just not, whether the injuries happened or not. Mm-hmm. Now, what's frustrating is I can't see that player-team development, unfortunately, because these just too many players are injured.
Right.
No consistency, no cohesion, no chemistry. Mm-hmm. Like, I can't see that and judge it year one. So year two for Dan Campbell, the team needs to be healthy. Like, I am gonna. It's gonna grow tired on me if they walk into next season hurt.
Yeah.
So let's just fast forward. By Thanksgiving of next year, I'd like to identify the identity of the team. I'd like to understand how they're really going to play going forward, what they're missing that they can acquire through free agency and the draft in the upcoming years, and how they're going to build around it. Is it going to be Jared Goff? Is it going to be another quarterback? We'll have to wait and see. I know it's not going to be Jared Goff, but we'll save that for later. By Thanksgiving of next year, you'll know if Dan Campbell has improved in his game calling, his scripting, his planning throughout the week, late game decisions. That's what you're looking for. You're not looking for this team to win 7, 8, 9 games this year. Maybe next year, healthy, competent, growing, they win 5, 6, 7 games. I think that's doable. And I think that's good improvement. But year 3, let's be real, by year 3, you got to be at least a respectable team competing for the division. Now, maybe you end up with 9, 10 wins trying to fight for a wild card. I'm not sure how it plays out. That's way too far ahead. But that's the growth expectation. That's how it should play out if you want this to actually succeed. And again, I'm not telling you guys anything you don't know. You need those progressional steps. Because if you don't have them, well, he's just Hugh Jackson, guys. And that's not what you want. You don't want another head coach out the door in 2 years, 3 years. It's another wasted project.
Right.
And ideally, Brad Holmes gets the draft picks right. He gets the free agency picks right. He makes some good trades. But your head coach has got to deliver an on-the-field product that is growing and developing. Why'd Jim Caldwell leave, guys? It's not that he was a horrible head coach. No. The team stopped improving. They peaked year 1. They went on 11-5 with a great Jim Schwartz roster. They had an off year, went 7-9. It made no sense. Threw away the whole year after a great start. Failed to win the division year 3 after another great start. And year 4, do we have to talk about year 4? No. 9-7, 8 of them fourth quarter comebacks. I mean, come on. That's not consistent progressional football. Go out and win games, try not to lose them. That's why Caldwell left. Like, whether we agree with who his replacement was, it's not the point. The point is you weren't seeing significant growth in the team. So how can you sit there and actually justify keeping somebody? That's the conversation you're going to have 2-3 years from now with Dan Campbell. And I hope to God he does turn out good. Believe me, I'm rooting for the guy. I know it may not sound like it, but I am rooting for him. Believe me, I don't want another turnover. I don't want a new culture, regime shift. It's really frustrating. Mm-hmm. But he's got to prove it. And he's got to work with what he has. Year 1, he gets a pass from everybody. And anybody judging him year 1, I mean, you're naive. Year 2, by Thanksgiving, you can actually judge him. Is he going to be a great head coach or just maybe an average or good coach? We can make that assumption by Thanksgiving of next year. And then year 3 is like, did he take the next step or didn't he? And if he didn't, well, you have your answer, Detroit. So that's that, Kennedy.
All right. Well, coming up, we're going to talk about a team that I think will win. U of M takes on Nebraska. Won't be easy, but I think they can pull it out. We'll talk about that coming up next. We know that the Lions' defense is going to struggle today, but you know whose defense doesn't struggle? Our friends over at Guardian Alarm.
Yeah, listen, let me tell you about our friends at Guardian Alarm because they always make sure you're safe. I mean, they get it. A good defense on and off the field helps you feel secure. I knew somebody personally who got their house broken into, and if they knew about Guardian Alarm, that could all change because Guardian Alarm has convenient features that let you check in on your home 24/7. You can control your lights, you can control temperatures, detect smoke or carbon monoxide. It will even let you lock and unlock doors. Call this number 800
Stay out.
That is 800 Stay Out.
Stay out.
Guardian Alarm has been trusted for over 90 years for keeping families safe.
Stay out.
Stay out.
I'm looking to bring on another HVAC tech right now.
We are recruiting 5 to 10 techs a month.
We're looking to grow and expand.
Every new tech we hire is from Northwestern Tech.
The hands-on training is fantastic.
They're always my first call.
We love hiring Northwestern Tech grads.
They come out trained and ready to work.
Our program is only 10.5 months, and our next classes are starting soon. So why wait?
I'm looking to hire
a graduate
of Northwestern Tech.
Northwestern Tech.
Northwestern Tech.
Northwestern Tech.
Welcome back, everyone. Thanks for joining us right here on the Morning Woodward Show on the Woodward Sports Network. All right, for you U of M people out there, under the lights at 7:30 at Nebraska, the Wolverines will take them on, those Cornhuskers. Adam, what are your thoughts on this game?
Look, this is a huge game for Michigan, but forget the result. I am so curious on how many snaps J.J. McCarthy is going to get this game. I really am. I'm looking forward to it. there were some cynical people on Twitter over the last week complaining that, Wisconsin wasn't a true test for Michigan. And I kind of laughed at it. Not because I want to give Michigan too much credit, but last I checked, Jeff, weren't Wisconsin the #1 ranked rush defense in college football going into that game?
Yes.
And if that's true, weren't Michigan solely reliant on the run game? Which means if you were able to stop Michigan from running the football, you would give them problems? Yeah, Michigan blew you out of the water. Yes, a flea flicker early on. It was close. Then Mertz got hurt, and then Michigan just took over from there. But still, Michigan won that game. They didn't. It wasn't given to them. They went out and won that game. And that was more of a true test than Nebraska will be. But Nebraska poses similar problems. And that's what people, I think, are trying to get at. I think they're a little over the top sometimes. But Nebraska will pose very similar problems that Wisconsin poses. Now, will Martinez run all over Michigan and make dynamic throws and convert on 3rd and 12s, 3rd and 14s when you just don't expect it? Coverage breaks down, he's running around, makes a big play. We'll have to wait and see. But those are the problems that Nebraska will pose for Michigan. Now, what does Michigan offer? Michigan offers a balanced run game. Can Cade McNamara, again, have at least a good, solid showing? I still think McCarthy's the guy. Well, we'll see how many. I would like to see more McCarthy. I've been calling it for weeks now, but I got to say, Cade McNamara hasn't lost a job. I will openly admit that. But do you want to wait for Michigan to lose a game because of Cade? Or do you just want to put the kid in there and try and go for a big win against a Michigan State, against a Penn State? Because I don't see how Cade McNamara goes on the road and throws the ball around. I just don't see it happening. He's not that kind of quarterback. I think Peyton Thorne is a much better quarterback. I think J.J. McCarthy is a much better quarterback. And if I'm Jim Harbaugh, let's be real, guys. He got an extension, but it's a very contract contingent contract. He doesn't have room for mistakes. And I would rather him lose 1 or 2 games this year with J.J. McCarthy as the quarterback than Cade McNamara. That's just my take. Now, regarding the game, this is a must-win for Michigan. Every game is a must-win for these teams, but you don't want to pull off. You don't want to come off a win against Nebraska a win against Wisconsin at Wisconsin, and then lose on the road to Nebraska. You need back-to-back road wins in the Big Ten. It would be huge not only for Jim Harbaugh's confidence, but the team. It really galvanized the locker room. I think there's a lot of implications here for Michigan. I see them winning. Whether or not it's close, I'll make that prediction a little later. But Jeff, your thoughts on the game?
I think Michigan gets it done pretty decisively, and that's enough, of a win to get J.J. McCarthy in there earlier. In the limited action we've seen J.J. McCarthy, he hasn't played whole halves yet, but he has gotten some action. And the time he's gotten, he's thrown a touchdown, he's ran for a touchdown, he threw another beautiful touchdown in a previous game. Every time J.J. McCarthy gets snapped, something good happens, and that's the gods, the football gods, telling Jim Harbaugh that, listen, man, you got a kid who's a freshman, he's special. You got to get him in here earlier. And I agree with you. That's the point I was going to make. Actually, you don't want to have Cade lose you a game before you decide to put J.J. McCarthy in. Start putting him in now while you're winning these games. Get him more reps, and if you get one of those big games like Ohio State or Michigan State, and you feel like he's ready, he knows the playbook, he knows the plays, you can open up so much more of the playbook with him. You put him in. I think their best chance to beat Michigan State or Ohio State is with J.J. McCarthy. We all understand that. And him playing now only makes him better for his sophomore, his junior year. So you don't want to not play the kid, put him in a transfer portal, get him all frustrated. But as of right now, Cade hasn't done anything to lose the starting job, but it doesn't matter. It's more about what J.J. McCarthy can do as your starter, and that's significantly more important to Jim Harbaugh and this football team because they're going for it. They're undefeated. They got Michigan State in 2 weeks. So J.J. McCarthy gives them the best chance to win. You saw it. He's so dynamic, both with his legs and his arm, and he's only 19, I believe. So there's just so much more on the table. But I want to get to Nebraska because Adrian Martinez, 6 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. 9 touchdowns rushing on the ground. So the guy,
he's an X factor.
Yeah, he's an X factor. You saw at Michigan State, they struggled to stop him in the red zone. He's super quick. 8th in QBR at 84.9. I mean, the guy is efficient. Aiden Hutchinson, David Ajabo, they have a combined 8 sacks this season. I think they get after Adrian Martinez. They limit that, at least his ability to get out the pocket and make plays. You saw how deadly that Michigan defensive line is. And if they can get this run game going early with Blake Corum, Donovan Edwards, and Cade keeps his attempts down, Michigan wins this by 2 scores.
Okay, so let's compare Michigan's front seven with Michigan State. I think we're both going to agree Michigan has a much better front seven, right?
Yep.
But you know what Michigan State did going into the Nebraska game that Michigan hasn't done yet? They haven't really faced a mobile quarterback. They played King down in Miami, who was able to get her out of the pocket, make plays happen with his feet, throw on the run, make plays. Michigan hasn't seen that yet, and this is going to be their first try. Now, I think Ojabo and Hutchinson are more than up to the task of limiting and punishing Adrian Martinez. But it's gonna be different. And I think this is gonna be very similar to the Michigan State game. It's gonna be really close. This could be a 27-24. This could be a 24-20 football game. I don't see how it's going to be high flying, ton of points unless Michigan just comes out and rolls. Now, if Michigan rolls, I think it's 37-20 game, 37-21 maybe. But if Michigan isn't rolling, I really see this game being down to a one-score game. Who makes the biggest play of the game? Can Nebraska hit big plays? I'm not sure. Michigan has shown they can. Blake Corum, he's got to be the X factor. He's really needs to have a better game than he did against Wisconsin. Cade McNamara, can he still make the throws? We'll have to wait and see. How are they going to use J.J. McCarthy? I have so many questions, but Kennedy, Michigan, Nebraska. Where are you going to pick Michigan to lose one of these days?
I'm going to pick Michigan to lose one of these days?
Yeah.
I wish I could. I really think they're going to beat Nebraska, but yeah, and it's not because I like that. It's just I really think that. But one of these days, when they play Michigan State, I will pick Michigan to lose. Promise.
All right, I can respect that. Kennedy, I do got to say about Michigan one more thing. Again, we kind of addressed it, Jeff. This is the first time they're playing a mobile quarterback, right? A guy that can make plays out of the pocket with his feet. Now, Michigan, in my opinion, is more able and capable of limiting a Martinez and just a mobile quarterback in general. I think they really have the front seven to handle it. But do you think he's going to pose problems that they haven't faced this year, and it could really make this game closer than maybe we think? Because I know you have them winning by 2 scores, but do you think Martinez is going to be a factor enough where he can make enough plays to keep Nebraska in this game?
Yeah, of course. I mean, it depends what Michigan's defensive front can do. Obviously, their secondary a little shaky sometimes, but they're able to make plays when they need to. So Adrian Martinez, it's more so my concern is with his legs. What does Michigan do when the play breaks down and he's able to move? But Michigan State, they struggled. But that's just my opinion. With Michigan, they have a better defensive front. So I think they're going to limit some of those opportunities for him to make those 10, 15-yard runs or get a first down, 3rd, 7. So you never know. I think just him being on the field with his legs, they're going to have a lot of time of possession because he's going to be able to extend plays and extend drives. But I think Michigan they're going to be able to contain them. Even though they've struggled against mobile quarterbacks, I think Adrian Martinez, they just absolutely obliterated Northwestern last week, 56-7. I think they come back down to earth when they face this Michigan team because they're coming off a very, very impressive win in Wisconsin. You could say what it is. Graham Mertz got injured, but nonetheless, they got a lot of momentum coming into this week, and I think it carries over. So I don't believe Adrian Martinez has as much success as he did. I don't think so.
All right, you guys. Well, not that anyone cares, but Notre Dame takes on Virginia Tech this weekend as well. Go Irish. While we're on the topic of football, I have to tell you, since it's Friday.
I'm going to fire Art.
Why?
I saw that.
What'd he do?
He knows what he did.
Was it about me?
No, it was about our break signal.
Oh. I love our break signal, Art. Go away.
Art, that is confidential. Thank you very much. You will not be in that booth any longer if you expose our break signal. Thank you very much, sir. Kennedy, continue.
Like I was saying, it's Friday, which means we have Friday Night Clash right here at Woodward Sports with the Prep and our friends over at Planet Fitness. So that will be broadcasted tonight at 9 p.m. We are broadcasting this week's matchup, number 8, Romeo versus number 7, Sterling Heights Stevenson. You guys, we love highlighting the best student sections right here in the Metro Detroit area. So make sure you tune into that for Friday Night Clash. All right, we will see you after the break.
Fellas, football season is here. It's time to make your grooming experience easy like Sunday morning. Get to Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. Walk in, relax, watch your favorite team play, and before you know it, your hair will be game ready. Get to Lady Jane's, open 10 to 8, 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. It's wicked awesome.
Make sure you download the Woodward Sports app in the App Store and the Google Play Store today. Take Woodward Sports with you wherever you go and listen live on your phone or mobile device.
Welcome back, everyone. You're tuning into the Morning Woodward Show right here on the Woodward Sports Network, featured on the Roar 93.5 FM, 99.1 FM, and 94.7 HD2. Happy Friday, you guys. I love the weekend. I don't care what Adam says. I'm pumped. This weekend, all my best friends are coming into town to see me. Art, can I just have something? Can we just be happy?
Sorry.
Right? Like, is it that hard?
God.
Anyway. We have a lot of good football games this weekend as well, specifically on Sunday. So we're going to go around the league and preview all of these games for you guys. We're going to start with, I think, maybe the sauciest game. Maybe second sauciest game. Browns versus Chargers. Jeff, what are your thoughts?
Go Browns! Listen, we saw what Baker
right.
Mayfield looked like last week against the Minnesota Vikings. He struggled, and he's dealing with that labrum injury. He popped it out. He's able to pop it back in. If you watch the mic'd up on YouTube, you can hear it. He pops it back in, and I think it's still messing with him. It's in his left arm. It's not his throwing arm, but regardless, he didn't throw a touchdown, didn't throw an interception. He basically did nothing, just ran to victory last week. This week is going to be different. Justin Herbert's going to want to air it out. Now, what does Rashawn Slater look like against Myles Garrett, who got 5 sacks against Chicago the 2 weeks prior? I don't know. But I do know this. This is probably the best defensive line Justin Herbert has faced thus far, and it's going to be interesting. I think the Chargers win. I don't know why. I just have it in me. I just think defensively they're going to give Baker too many issues in the secondary and the pass rush. He's not going to be able to just game manage to a victory. I think they're going to ask for Baker to do a whole lot more, and I just don't believe he can. I don't know. So I believe Herbert comes out. He plays an excellent game, and they get Eckler going. Mike Williams bounces back. I don't know what happened. He was MIA last week. They didn't use him a whole lot. I think this week he bounces back.
He was more of a decoy, to be frank.
Pretty much.
Especially in the red zone. That's why Eckler was so dominant in the red zone last
week.
Those
real routes were getting wide open because of Mike Williams.
You have to pick your poison. Again, when you have that many weapons, it's like Kansas City. Like, all right, who are we guarding today?
Right.
Are we going to double Hill and Kelsey and take our chances over the top with Mecole Hardman? Dunder Robinson? Like, it's a luxury to have right now for Los Angeles. I wouldn't say it was MIA. I think it was part of their game plan. They didn't want to get beat by Mike Williams. Keenan Allen had a good game. Eckler went off. But I agree with you completely on this game. I don't see how Baker Mayfield is going to go toe-to-toe with Justin Herbert. Again, 14 points against the Minnesota Vikings last week. The Cleveland defense showed out. I do think the Chargers defense this week shows out. Baker, multiple interceptions. They're going to go down. He's going to have to throw the ball. OBJ, again, still getting his legs under him. No Jarvis Landry. I don't see how they're going to move the ball downfield consistently. They're not going to be able to get their run game going. I really like the LA Chargers defense this weekend. Love Justin Herbert. I think they're going to dominate this game. Take the Chargers to win. Again, really good football team, man. I really like the Chargers this year.
All right. I like that you like the Chargers this year. All right, coming up next, Cards versus Niners. Jeffrey.
This is going to be listen, it's Trey Lance's first start of his NFL career, so that's going to be the highlight. They're 2-2. We'll see what the offense looks like with Trey Lance. They're going to want to make plays on his feet, use him in the red zone and for red zone opportunities. But listen, the Arizona Cardinals, they're undefeated right now. They're 4-0. They just beat the Rams pretty impressively, and I think they go out against a rookie quarterback. And, what we've seen out of Trey Lance is limited snaps, but he's thrown touchdowns. He had 2 touchdowns in 18 attempts. He was 9 for 18. Not very efficient, but he scores. I don't know how. I don't know what. But he just got that talent ability. So against the Arizona Cardinals, I think he struggles. I think the Arizona Cardinals win this. I believe Trey Lance puts on a performance, call it what you want. I believe he turns the ball over once or twice. But I think the Arizona Cardinals get it done. I don't care for a score. I just think they come out with a victory.
All right, cool. Let me talk about my favorite player. Not Jimmy Garoppolo. Trey Lance. Trey Lance is playing today, correct? If I can recall?
Sunday, yeah.
Well, you get the point. He's starting. First official start, I should say.
Mm-hmm.
This is interesting. We're going to see how the Niners react. Do the Cardinals move to 5-0? And Jeff, you had the Cardinals winning, correct?
Yep.
I'm calling upset. I think Kyle Shanahan and company are going to come with a really good game plan. I think Trey Lance is going to pose a problem. If you need a quarterback in one of your fantasy leagues, Trey Lance is a good pickup to start. I think a rushing touchdown minimum expected. I think the Niners control the clock. Trey Sermon really developing into a workhorse back. We'll see if they get him more than 20 carries this week. I like San Francisco this game against Arizona Cardinals. Again, they're not going to go 17-0. I would call upset alert on the Niners. It's one of the bets I'm going to take over the weekend. I think it's a good matchup. Niners coming off a tough loss to Green Bay, then they followed up with a loss to Seattle. They're now 2-2. Again, you look at Arizona. Let's talk narrative, right, Jeff? Arizona loses this game. It's just a loss. All right, a loss in the division, but they already have a win over the Rams, so they're fine. Losing away to San Francisco, I don't want to say no shame in it, but it's a tough place to play. Good coaching, a good team you're playing against, right? Admittedly so. Move to San Francisco now. You can't lose this game. You can't fall to 0-2 in the division if you expect to really compete and try to make the playoffs. It's a tough hole to dig out. You'll fall to 2-3, and then you're really playing against it the remainder of the year. And let's be honest, the NFC West is no push. It's no joke. It's a tough division, the toughest division in football, actually. So I think I'm going to take the Niners to upset, move to 3-2. Cardinals lose their first game of the year, fall to 4-1. That's my prediction for the game.
Interesting. All right, coming up next, I think this one is going to be an absolute bloodbath. I don't even know why we're talking about this game. Cowboys versus Giants. Jeff, your thoughts?
Yeah, the NFC East is absolutely atrocious. But listen, I will say this: the Cowboys this year, they looked legit. And you know what? You talk about their defense first, because their offense has always been, dynamic, explosive. They got three-headed monster at the receiver position. Now they have Dak Prescott, who has no problem leading the entire league in passing yards. But the defense has played well. Trevon Diggs is early candidate for Defensive Player of the Year. He's playing like it. And you know what? I got faith in the Cowboys. They come out and absolutely smoke the New York Giants, who have been struggling, and I feel bad because they've pretty much been in every single win so far. But listen, this Cowboys team, they look hungry this year. You can say what you want about Mark McCarthy and his clock management issues, but Kellen Moore
and his weight. Say what you want.
Yes, Adam, for his weight. But you talk about Kellen Moore offensively. You got Dan Quinn. Their coordinators, I love them. So I don't know how I feel about Jason Garrett. He's playing his old team. He's going to try it and dial up a good game plan to beat his old team, but I don't think he gets it done. I think they lose pretty big, more than 2 scores.
I like that. I am actually taking the Giants to cover this game on 7 points. I think it's a much closer game than people expect. I think the Giants are going to pose problems. I think Dak, you got to take away. You got to pick a player to take away, and I think for Sunday it's got to be Amari Cooper. If Schultz and Jarwin are gonna beat you over the middle, okay, have it that way. Don't let Amari Cooper or CeeDee Lamb go off. Don't let the run game get going. I think the Giants will play a close game. I think Dallas will win, but I'm going to call this game 28-24, Dallas with the victory. I like the Giants to make it close. Again, this is an NFC East matchup. I don't see Dallas blowing away this team. We saw Carolina put up a ton of points on the Dallas defense. We're raving on Trevon Diggs, raving about Micah Parsons, but they're still giving up points. There's points to be taken against Dallas. I like the New York Giants just to cover. They're not going to win, but I expect them to cover. It's one of my favorite bets of the weekend. I'll take the 7 points. If it gets higher, great for me, but I'm taking the 7 points for the New York Giants. That's my bet for that weekend game.
All right, and make sure you guys stick around because Adam will be giving you his bets, more of them, at the end of the show. So don't leave. Stay right here with us. Now, probably, in my opinion, one of the most exciting games of the weekend, Chiefs versus Bills. Jeff, your thoughts?
Well, the Bills, listen, I think they continue to play well. But the Chiefs, they've looked rough, especially the first couple games. They lose to the Chargers. They give up 31 points to the Eagles. Their defense has been all over the place. And now you're going against Josh Allen, who I picked as MVP. Stephon Diggs is going to have a monster night. There's not a single corner, barely in the NFL, that can cover him, especially not on the Kansas City Chiefs. So Josh Allen, I think this game is high scoring. I think this game ends up being 38-31, somewhere in that ballpark. I think they have a shootout because, to be honest, unless the Bills completely... I have faith the Bills' defense can cause Patrick Mahomes problems. Maybe not this revamped offensive line, but these Chiefs' defense can't stop anybody. They've given up 300-plus yards to Jalen Hurts, given up over 100 yards to Devontae Smith. Now you got Stephon Diggs, one of the best route runners in the NFL. So he's coming in there. He's going to torch them. I think, you know what? To pick a winner, I don't know where it's at. If it's at the Chiefs or at Kansas City or at Buffalo, but...
I believe it's in Buffalo.
Okay, you know what? That's how big of a game this is. I think the Bills win. I don't know why. It's giving me a feeling in my heart. 38-31. I think they have a shootout. Absolute shootout.
Game, huh?
Yep.
All right, I do agree on the shootout game. I think it's going to be a high-scoring game. I'm going to go 31-30, 34-31, something along those lines. Both teams in the 30s. I am so excited for this game, Jeff. But
it's going to be great.
There is one caution we should take with going this high on the score. The Buffalo Bills defense has 2 shutouts already this year. They've already posted 2 shutouts. They're only giving up, 12, 14 points a game.
Mm-hmm. But they've played, their schedule, the first 4 games, if you go through it, it's pretty bad.
I understand, and I know it's circumstantial against Miami. Tua went out, but...
It was Jacoby, they played Davis Mills, and, it's...
Yeah, I do agree. I still think, though, the defense is legit.
True.
I think both teams are very good teams. These are top 10 teams in the NFL. You could argue top 5 both. It's a great matchup. I'm excited for it. I've got the Bills sneaking away with this game, although I think the Chiefs have more to lose. If the Bills lost, they're in a division that's not really going to kill them. If the Chiefs lose, it's another loss. You're going to really try to catch up now to the... could it be the Broncos move to 4-1 this week if they beat the Ravens? Could it be the Raiders improving to 4-1? Could it be the Chargers, who I think will beat the Browns, moving to 4-1? You don't want to fall to 2-3, and then you're, two games behind now. It's going to be tough game for the Chiefs. This is a pick'em game. It really is. It's going to be really close, so we'll wait and see.
All right, and then, of course, we have to check in on our friends at the Packers. They are taking on the Bengals. Adam, what are your thoughts on this game?
Yeah, this is a tough game to call. I don't like this game. This is a tricky game to bet.
Yeah.
I see Cincinnati playing a really good game. I think they play it close. I think it's lower scoring than people imagine. I'm going to go 23-20. Green Bay pulls out the win. Aaron Rodgers hasn't turned the ball over in 3 weeks. He's been looking great. He's looking really, really good these last 3 weeks after a horrible opening start to the year. I think the Packers win. Look, the Packers guys are one of the best teams in the NFC. They opened up slow and relax. Remember all that? Here we are. They're 3-1. Probably move to 4-1. I think they beat Cincinnati. They're a more complete team, although it wouldn't shock me if Cincinnati pulled off the upset. It wouldn't shock me. Zach Taylor and company got a... I don't know if the Green Bay secondary can hold up all game containing Tyler Boyd, Jamar Chase. It's going to be interesting. We'll mix and play. We're not sure. It looks like he will, but we'll have to wait and see. I like the Packers this game.
And I like the Packers as well. I'll start with that. But if the Bengals have any chance of winning this game, they have to score points, because every game so far this season, they haven't cleared over 27. So the Packers, they know how to score points. Their offense is one of the tops in the league just off of pieces they have. So Aaron Rodgers doesn't turn the ball over much. I think this is a very humbling game for the Cincinnati Bengals. I think they dropped to 3-2. I think the Packers get it done, even if it's at Cincinnati. The Packers, man, they've just been playing excellent football ever since week 1. They've did a complete 360. So you know what? I'll give the Packers winning. I think... it's either 2 things are going to happen. It's either the Bengals are going to keep this close, it's going to be a more low-scoring game, like Adam said, or it's the Packers win by 2+ touchdowns. They went 31-14, 31-13, whatever the case may be, because there's no in between. I think there ain't going to be no shootout. It's very one-sided. So you know what? I'll say Packers win they win big. I'll just say that. It could be close, but Packers 31-14. Say that.
Okay, very cool, very cool. Kennedy, I want your thoughts on the Packers game.
Oh.
Give me your take.
I hope the Bengals win. That's my only take. I hate the Packers, you guys. You know that. I hate them.
At least you're doing something right by hating the Packers.
But I want to ask you guys, with all the drama that's gone on this week surrounding Urban Meyer, they take on the Titans on Sunday at 1. Are you guys going to watch this game to see how shambling? You have to, right?
Oh, look. You want to talk about a game you're taking the points? Tennessee 4.5-point favorites only on the road. Now, if there was ever a week for Jacksonville to get their ducks in an order and win a football game, well, I'm just saying, this happens.
There's no way.
Well, hear me out on this.
Okay.
Let's just talk narrative.
Okay.
Home game coming off an embarrassing scandal for the organization. The players don't respect you. You go out and lose to Tennessee 41-13. Derrick Henry runs all over you. You're done. You're done as a head coach. Go take the USC job. Although I think he should already have been fired. If they lose really bad this weekend, I would consider just moving on from Urban Meyer. That's it. That's it. He lost the locker room. Players aren't going to fight for him. You don't want to ruin your franchise future quarterback. You don't want that kind of drama going on in the building. Set the example from now. Get rid of Urban Meyer. Deal with Bevel for the remainder of the year. Go out and find a young up-and-coming head coach, whether it's offensive or defensive-minded, and make that transition and see how Trevor Lawrence develops.
But even bigger than that, like Tennessee Titans, man, you think Mike Vrabel, yes, they have a new offensive coordinator, but you think he's going to let them lose to the Jets and then the Jaguars back-to-back weeks.
Yes.
That's bad. That's bad, man. That's a stain on Vrabel this season. For as stacked as this team has been and the expectations
I think it could happen.
It could.
If there was ever a week, like
there's always a chance.
Again, narrative-wise, like forget logic. Logic tells you Titans are going to destroy the Jaguars.
They can't lose. They can't afford to lose.
They literally can't. If they lose this game, it's really bad for Tennessee. But again, I picked the Colts to win the division. Colts coming off a good win. They've got a good matchup this week.
So it's for your narrative.
Tennessee fails to win. These teams are due a win. I mean, do we really expect teams to go 0-17? It's very difficult. When are Jacksonville going to get their win? Is it going to come off the scandalous week where Urban Meyer just caught all the attention and fire? If it does happen, I mean, it really shapes the AFC South in a completely different way. We'll have to wait and see. I think Tennessee rolls, but if Jacksonville won, I mean, it would be so ironic. It really would.
I can't even make that make sense in my head. I don't think there's any way that happens, but if it does.
They've been improving week to week so far. So
but
to
no
be
one
fair,
even likes
you know what I like to
coach.
say? I'll say, listen, Jaguars have been improving. They've slowly been improving. Titans by 3 touchdowns.
There you go. All right, Jeff.
That's how I do it.
And this sucks because this was with my whole chest was like, this is going to be my number 2 team. I always take a backup team as a Lions fan just so I have something else. And you know what? No longer. I've been tweeting all season, Jags Super Bowl. And look, I look like a clown. An absolute clown. But anyway, when we come back, we're going to talk. We're going to
At least you're not getting a Lions limos tattoo. Jeez.
Sorry, what was that, Art?
I said at least you're not getting a Lions limos tattoo.
This is true. I just embarrassed myself on the internet. But when we come back, we're going to talk about the Lions, specifically our boy DeAndre Swift. So stick around for that. But, since we're going to talk about the Lions, I got to tell you where you should pregame, and that is at O'Toole's with us, with me, Ryan Armani, Maz, Jade from Riff. It's a great time at O'Toole's. I love away games. O'Toole's is a bunch of fun. Our friends from Jose Cuervo come out there. It is an absolute blast. So be there from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. O'Toole's, Royal Oak, and we will celebrate this maybe not so great game against the Vikings. All right, that's that from me. Now we need to hear about our friends right back there at Lady Jane's.
All right, listen, you need a place to get your hair cut. I know some of you guys watching the stream, your hair's looking all long, it's looking all rough. But listen, find a Lady Jane's near you because they take care of you. They're open 7 days a week, unlike some places that take care of you because they're not. Lady Jane's open 7 days a week, 10 to 8. You walk in any time of the day. You get to sit in one of these comfy chairs like I'm witnessing some people doing right now, watch some sports on the television, and walk out with a fresh haircut. And before you know it, you're handsome and clean. That's as simple as it is. And you know why you guys should check out Lady Jane's? It's because it's wicked awesome.
Okay, you thirsty little spin goblins. I want you to pedal into the next dimension. Spin it! Spin! Spin! Uh-oh! Carmen's falling behind. Let's give her the hiss of shame. Spin! Spin! Spin till you bleed!
Don't ride the bike of shame. Come to Planet Fitness and find your own lane with tons of equipment, free fitness training, and no hissing. Join today for just $10 a month.
Welcome, everyone. You're tuning in to the Morning Woodward Show right here on the Woodward Sports Network. All right, you guys have said the lack of O-line will affect our ability to run the ball. So how much of DeAndre Swift are you expecting to see this week? Dan Campbell promised us last week that we would see more Swift, and now, where does this leave us, Jeff?
Well, DeAndre Swift struggles at least pass blocking. He's always struggled. I don't know if you want to say he's too small or whatever the case may be, but he's given up some sacks this year. Jamal Williams is clearly the better pass blocker. So he's going to get more snaps, I believe, in this scenario because simply you're missing 3 of your your core of your offensive line against a team who is absolutely, they're good at getting after the quarterback. Daniil Hunter, they got other guys who can get after you, and it's going to be tough. You want to get DeAndre Swift going early. I think last week they didn't get him going as early as I thought. When they did get him going, he got stopped 1 yard per gain, so it wasn't going well for DeAndre Swift last week. But I was hoping this week they use him a little bit more. But nonetheless, Jamal Williams, they're still going to split carries. It's not going to change. What we should be talking about is how much success will DeAndre Swift see, and I just don't know. This run game, you want to say they get better every single week, but it's hard when you're losing the important pieces of your football team, especially guys in the offensive line who Penn Sewell, he's such a good run blocker, man. I mean, you can say what you want about giving up sacks thus far, but his impact in the run game is noticed. They run in his direction, and missing him, Ragnow, and Decker, it's going to take a hit on this team. And it comes down to how often or how early do they want Jared Goff to start airing it out? Does he attempt over 30 passes this game? Probably clearly over that. And that's not good. It's not a recipe for success. Anytime you ask Jared Goff to throw the ball 30-plus times, near 40 times, you're not going to win the ball game unless Jared Goff's going to pull you from behind and win you on a game-winning drive, which he's just not known to do. So you want to start with the run game, and how do you start with it when the guys that help you get space for the run game is just they're out, they're missing. So it's tough. You got a Minnesota Vikings who's 9th ranked in rushing defense. They have no problem coming after and stopping the run, and the Detroit Lions rely so much on the run because Jared Goff, I think he's the top quarterback in play-action pass, either attempts or success. Most of his completions come out of play-action pass. That's his offense, is what he feels comfortable in, and it's hard to do that when you can't get a run game going. So you know what? We're going to have to see. It's hard to call it right now, but Jared Goff's 45.9 passer rating under pressure is not enlightening. It doesn't help the situation. So they're going to have to get the run game going because
they're not.
If you ask Jared to throw the ball, I'll predict a different score. It's going to be 45-7. How about that?
Yeah. Well, I mean, this is going to be bad. I'm telling you. Even with Penn Sewell, you're losing your starting center, one of the best centers in the NFL. DeAndre Swift's impact this game is going to have to come out of the backfield through the air. I think 10, 12, 14 targets this game is feasible for DeAndre Swift. You want to get your playmakers in open space to make big plays for you as much as possible. I think DeAndre Swift offers you that. I think he goes for 9 catches, about 89, 100 yards. We'll see. He's got to be a factor. He's got to be a factor if you want to at least be in the game. I'm not sure how Detroit is going to be able to get the run game going, especially if Penn Sewell is out. This is very problematic. It's going to be a tough game. It really is. Good points in the chat. People are tired of hearing about the Lions and their issues and want to hear more about the Pistons and Wings. But I got to say, in a few weeks, we're going to be talking lots of Wings and Pistons. It's going to be fun. But back to the Lions and DeAndre Swift, they have to get him going. But it's got to be through the air, Jeff. It's not going to be on the ground. I don't envision a scenario where the Lions are able to run as a team for over 125-plus yards. How's that going to happen? They're going to be down the whole game.
Right.
DeAndre Swift can't get involved through carries. You got to get him out of the backfield. You got to pick up blitz packages when you know they're going to blitz. Call for a screenplay. Make the adjustments at the line of scrimmage. Why does every team have the ability to do these things, yet the Lions can't? Recognize the blitz, take a risk, call the screenplay. If you nail it, there's a 30, 40-yard potential opportunity there with DeAndre Swift out of the backfield. Let's get creative here. Find a way to get your playmaker out in open space, and I think it at least makes you a respectable opponent on Sunday, but it's going to be tough to overcome injuries.
Yeah, throw in some more screenplays. I mean, they used T.J. Hawkinson in the screen game versus San Francisco. It looked good. You got DeAndre Swift, guy who can make plays in space. I agree. You want to use DeAndre Swift more in those open space opportunities for him too, especially in the screen pass. Just get him open, let him take the ball about 15 yards. He does so much in open space. If you give that, I personally believe DeAndre Swift can do so much more with a depleted offensive line because he can. It's just how he is. With less carries, he's more efficient. I don't know how. I don't know why, but hopefully this week. I agree. You want to limit his rushing attempts, but you still got to run the man. You got to get him involved. He's probably one of your best wide receivers. You could argue it. I could sit here and argue why he's better than a couple of the guys we have starting at wide receiver. But listen, DeAndre Swift will get his touches. I don't think they're going to count him out this week, especially last week. I think he was kind of shut a little bit out of the game plan. It was just hard. They were down. They were trying to claw back. Like you said, they're being down so much. It's hard to really use DeAndre Swift and run the ball. It's just you got to use him in different ways. So we'll see. Got to get him in space. I agree with you.
Yeah, I think the best way to do that is maybe you line up with 2 backs in the backfield. I mean, you try a reverse screen, right? You fake it one way, but it's actually going the other. We see this a lot with tight ends. Well, you know what? Get creative this week, guys, because you're going to need a lot of creativity and big plays to stay in this game. Again, secondary depleted, O-line depleted. Your pass rush, where's it going to come from? You just lost Aquara. I mean, this is a tough spot for Detroit. I mean, this isn't oh, wow, this team. It's not that they just suck. They are completely decimated by injuries. This is really bad. It's getting really bad at this point. So whether they lose by 15 or 30, I mean, does it really matter? I mean, I expect them to lose this game. That's not really the point or what I care about. It's can you show that you're creative enough and you can scheme a little bit to where you can kind of get away with being down certain players? Because that's going to happen when you have a good roster. Sometimes you're going to be missing one of your best players, one of your, let's say, your average to good players that, fill a hole for you. How do you fill that need? How do you game plan around it? And that's what I'm going to be looking for this weekend. I'm not going to look for if they win this game or stay close. It's going to be tough. Adam Thielen and Justin Jefferson owners, congratulations. This is going to be a good week for you in fantasy. Even Dalvin Cook owners, my goodness, I could see them all going for over 20 points. This is going to get bad. But back to DeAndre Swift. That's a guy. If I own DeAndre Swift in a fantasy league, I'm playing him at my flex position. Or if I'm desperate at running back, of course, I'm going to play Swift. But I really expect him to play I expect him to get 12 to 14 touches through the air, or at least targets. Now, whether or not he makes the most out of them, we'll wait and see. But as a fantasy owner, you don't care. But as an observer of the Detroit Lions and how I want to analyze them this weekend is, can you get your players in open space given the multitude of injuries you're dealing with? Kennedy?
Well, I was just going to say, so week 3, he had 21 targets. Week 4, he had 14, and that was after we were promised to see more of him. So now I don't know where that leaves DeAndre Swift currently. Because that's not more. 14 is not more than 21.
Well, that's just through the air. Forget the carries, right? But go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
Well,
I don't think it was. No, I think that was.
That was total, correct?
Yeah.
I think he had 6 carries, 8 targets.
Yeah,
whatever.
his carries have been down.
Yeah, well, you don't. He was only rushed twice against Chicago in the second half. I mean, that can't happen. Now, if you're Detroit, you want to get him involved in the run game. You got to try and run the ball. You don't want to sit up there and give Jared Goff the ball 45, 50 times. It's gonna turn bad. And if you're a fantasy owner, what else is new? If you can start Jared Goff, I mean, good for you. Or not Jared Goff. The Vikings defense. I mean, you're winning there too. Lots of Minnesota fantasy players this week. This is going to be bad. I'm really not sure how the Detroit Lions stay in this game. I mean, it's going to take fortune, creativity, luck, so many factors. Kennedy, your thoughts on DeAndre Swift so far this season? And do you agree with me and Jeff in the sense that they need to get him involved more? This is ridiculous.
100% that he needs to be involved more. He is often top 10, I want to say, when I'm watching fantasy pros. They list him confidently as a top 10. So I just don't know what we're missing here where we're not giving him more. It's very, very confusing.
Yeah, it's like new regime. He's still being used just as less. And I don't know if that's because you're not confident with if he can hold up, if his health or whatever the case may be. But maybe it's just me. I like the 2-back situations, but man, DeAndre needs to be favored. It's like what the Packers did with Jamal last year. They had Aaron Jones. He was their guy. You rush Aaron Jones, but Jamal Williams can change speeds for you and get out there. That's what you should be doing.
Well, and Jamal Williams does not fumble. He
doesn't go backwards. Every time he gets the ball, he's plus yards.
That's the one thing I will say about him. So.
Yeah, still, I mean, DeAndre Swift, you got to see what you can get out of him. Is he an explosive, dynamic back? I think we all believe so. But it doesn't matter if he's not getting the appropriate amount of touches.
Right.
And if he's not, well, then it's kind of pointless at this point. So we're going to have to wait and see. Kennedy, I know we're going over PFF grades next.
Yes, we are.
By position, but what do we got to do before we head out of here?
Well, first, I want to tell you that the party can't end at the pregame. You guys know you got to go join Stick over at Brass Rail for the Lions postgame. It starts at the 2-minute warning of every Lions game. You guys, they have DJs, drinks, a Woodward VIP section where you can go hang out. So make sure you do that at the Brass Rail this Sunday at the 2-minute mark. All right, and now we need to hear about our friends at Underdog Fantasy.
All right, guys, let me talk to you about Underdog Fantasy. The NFL season is underway, but you can still draft a new fantasy team each and every week on Underdog Fantasy to win cash prizes through their slick mobile app and user-friendly website. You can join a league and draft a team within minutes. Plus, the folks at Underdog are going to give you a free $10 when you sign up and make your first deposit using code WSN. So go visit UnderdogFantasy.com or the App Store, whether it's on the Google Play Store or the Apple iOS Store, and they will match your first deposit with a $10 bonus. Again, use code WSN. We'll see you after the break.
Hi, I'm David Hall from Hall Financial. And at Hall Financial, we treat our clients like family. And our number one priority is giving each of our clients 5-star service. Our passion for 5-star service, combined with our expertise, allows us to find the best possible solution for refinancing your home loan. We take the time to focus on both the individual and the numbers. We're going to walk you through the process and close your loan in half the time of our competition. Go to davidhallmortgage.com today.
Welcome back, everybody. Happy Friday. Thanks for joining us right here on the Morning Woodward Show. As promised, we are going to get into these PFF rankings, which we all know not everyone always agrees with the PFF, but we've got them right here for you if you haven't seen them yet. So overall, and I want your guys' take on this, the Lions are ranked at 29th. I believe they were at 27 last time we talked, so they have fallen a little bit, and rightfully so. But, Jeff, what do you think about this?
The team hasn't won a game yet, and they haven't really, besides the Ravens game, which you can argue, yes, Marquise Brown dropped some touchdown passes, but that's the only game they actually had a chance to really win at the end of the game. I mean, the 49ers game, yes, you had the botch kickoff, you get able to get the ball back, you go down, you have a chance to win the game, or at least go to overtime if you convert the 2-point conversion. But it is what it is. This team is so depleted with injuries. It's hard to really scale them because who's behind them? Probably the Jaguars, Jets. It's only a selective amount of teams that are right behind them. It doesn't matter where you argue they're at. They're at the bottom of the league, at least near of it right now. We acknowledge that, and there's a lot of work this team needs to do come the 2022 NFL draft. Whether it's filling out the entirety of the defense, getting a receiver, whatever the case may be, there's a lot of things this team needs to address to even be considered playing into the top 20s or higher the 20s or the teens or whatever the case may be. T.J. Hawkinson's probably your best pro. You got Ragnow, who's injured now. Romeo Ricora, who was amongst top in PFF, now he's out. So it's not looking good, and this team is not PFF friendly as of right now. There's no players on this squad that are going to get a high grade, especially right now. The guys who are expected to get the highest grades are out, and you got T.J. Hawkinson, who's banged up. Frank Ragnow, who's usually has high grades in PFF, he's out. So it is what it is. You got a team who's not very talented. They're not playing well as of late, and they haven't won a game. So it's hard for me to argue anything else, to be honest.
So I'm glad you brought that up because they do have the top 3 players for every single position category. Okay. So right now, our top is still Frank Ragnow with an 86.2, mm-hmm. and then it's Jamal Williams with 77.6, and then Tracy Walker with 74.8.
Yeah, it's probably Jamal. Jamal has to be doing something with. He just doesn't go backwards. He's always going forward. He's always producing yards, so he's efficient. Jamal deserves to be up there, but I mean, what are you gonna do? Jared Goff's probably bottom on that list.
I take some of the PFF rankings with like a pinch of salt because some of the times, I mean, there's a quarterback that'll play a game of his life, 3 touchdowns, no picks, 290 yards, and he'll be 6th on the PFF rankings that week over guys that didn't play anywhere as goes like eye test wise as good as he did. So I mean, it's fine. The total offense is ranked 22nd, I believe.
23rd.
Defense 23rd. Okay, defense ranked 32nd. What a surprise. Injuries have crushed this team. I mean, how do you evaluate this team right now? Honestly, what are you looking for? Now you're looking at rookies, but you have your head coach coming out and saying he's going to bench some of the young guys. Mm-hmm. I mean, Dan, I support the message of you can't keep making the same mistakes twice, but we also need to see these rookies. We need to see what they're capable of. We need to see what these young players are capable of so we know going into next year and the year following, are they going to be part of our plans going into the next few seasons? And if they are, great. If they aren't, cool. But we got to figure that out. And again, this is a done year. You're 0-4. You're not making the playoffs. You're not winning the division. You may not win a single game this year, Dan.
And I know you really want to. It doesn't matter. That's what I don't understand it.
Well, yeah, but you want them to grow. And again, if you're putting these players out there and they're continuing to make the same mistakes and they just keep getting beat, and
then you know
this
that you're
continues,
done.
well, then you know they're not part of your team in the future. Exactly, Kennedy. Spot on. So you'll know if they're going to be moving forward with you or not. Are frustrated because they're not going to go 10-7, but that's a different story. I'll leave them alone.
I know. I'm like seeing hand movement over there.
Yeah.
What's happening?
Regardless, TJ Hawkinson, he's a 72.6 this year. That makes sense. Came out hot, struggled the last few games. Teams, again, you want to limit the Lions' offense, double TJ. Make the Lions try to throw to the sidelines, which clearly they can't do. And here you go. I mean, this is a bad football team. It's a bad football team, and let's be honest, coaching hasn't really improved it all that much. It really hasn't. And you can tell me, well, it's better than what we had under Patricia. Like, yeah, that's not saying much. Like, you were literally the bottom of the floor of the league under Matt Patricia. The worst culture, the worst sideline, so toxic. He comes in, changes that, great. But the team is bad, decimated by injuries. How much can we get out of Dan Campbell this year? I'm not sure. Now, again, you're not going to judge him. How many times do I have to say that? But, like, what am I getting out of you year one? Can you show me something? Oh, Adam, they should have beat the Ravens. Really? Really? You should have gone out and won that game, not avoided trying to lose it. Stop with that mentality. Go out and get a first down. You have 3 plays to get a first down and kneel and kick the field goal. What are we doing? When are you going to go out and win a football game? Earn a victory. Now, again, with this roster, I don't expect it. But please, instead of just PFF grades for the players, can I get something out of the team this year where I can say, you know what, going into next year, I like this. I like this player. I like the way we scheme here on defense. I like the way we run a certain style of run offense. I don't know. I just would really like to see something this year so I can actually evaluate him in year 2. Because I don't want it to be year 3 where I'm starting to evaluate him. Like 2 years, you got to show me something. And I told you guys, I'm making up my mind Thanksgiving of next year. And whether or not he's going to go 0-17, 3-14, 4-13, it doesn't matter this year. But are you showing positional growth as a head coaching staff, individual players, as a front office? Are you making proper moves that are going to put your team in the correct position to win over time? Do I think trading Taylor Decker in the offseason to avoid a less cap hit June 1st of next year is a good idea? I do. I really do. Do I think keeping Penesu at left tackle all year, knowing that I'm going to be trading Taylor Decker, is the right move? Absolutely. But I don't make the decisions, do I?
No. Unfortunately not.
Unfortunately not. What are you talking
Adham
about?
would be great.
No.
I've gotten that compliment multiple times. You can sit over there.
Yeah.
Don't talk to me.
Don't talk to me.
I like, oh yeah,
Negative Nancy.
I've gotten that compliment multiple
I
times.
get like multiple DMs.
Yeah. My mom also tells me I have a nice hair. You know, I don't know.
No, she's
I
right.
get
Well,
compliments.
she's right.
Yeah, so
She's right about that. She's not wrong.
Compliments are.
Look, if you guys think for a second, all right, look, I don't want to bash the team right now, but you guys are putting me in a spot where I have to.
You only
If
do on
think-
days that end
If
in
you
Y.
think Artemis Smith couldn't have ran the organization for the last 60 years and put together something more tangible, you're hilarious. Like,
Which Art Smith are we talking about?
This Art Smith.
Our Art Smith.
Our Art Smith.
Well, there's two,
Could
and
have done
it
a better
throws me.
job. Could have done a better job in the last 60 years than the Fords have.
Yeah, but that's not saying much.
Well, that's my point.
Oh, okay, I got it now.
All right, that's my point. It's not much.
The guy who plays Call of Duty and
There
goes
are
to bed at
people in
9
the
could do a
chat, I
better
believe,
job.
could probably
I got
do a
it.
better job of running a team. It's ridiculous. You sit there and allow people that you're putting on the hot seat to make the decision with the number 3 overall pick in a quarterback-driven class. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? And you take a corner and accept a corner at number 3?
Adam, do you
As
have
if he was going to be Deion Sanders or Champ Bailey.
Do you have a second team?
I'm sorry?
Do you have a second team?
Absolutely not. No, I'm a Detroit sports fan. That's
Well,
it.
that's your first mistake. Go Rams. There, life's easier.
No, I'm not.
Oof,
No, go
Ari.
Reds. We're not part of that crap.
Yeah, I am.
You shouldn't have a second team. I'm not a believer in second
Stafford
teams.
jersey coming in next week.
What's up?
I said my Stafford jersey is coming in next week.
Oh, that's
Good for
cool.
you.
Good for
you.
I agree with that.
He's lying. Is it really?
Will you wear it on Mondays when they win?
I'll wear it when I'm getting my tattoo.
All right, I like it. Kennedy, we got to hit the break.
All right.
What do we got next?
Up next, we've got the best bets of the weekend. You guys, I love this segment. I know you guys do too. We all like making money around here, so make sure you listen to these guys' bets. So, before we go. Oh, wait. Did I miss a break?
No.
Oh, I did them all? Okay, well then I'll just see you guys after the break.
I'm looking to bring on another HVAC tech right now.
We are recruiting 5 to 10 techs a month.
We're looking to grow and expand.
Every new tech we hire is from Northwestern Tech.
The hands-on training is fantastic.
They're always my first call.
We love hiring Northwestern Tech grads.
They come out trained and ready to work.
Our program is only 10.5 months, and our next classes are starting soon. So why wait?
I'm looking to hire
Hire a graduate
Of Northwestern Tech.
Northwestern Tech.
Northwestern Tech.
Northwestern Tech.
Welcome back, everyone. Thanks so much for tuning into the Morning Woodward Show this morning. We love hanging out with you guys. Shout out to all of you in the chat that are, being a part of the conversation with us. But you guys, now we have the best bets of the weekend, the best segment of Friday shows. You guys got to know, how do we make money this weekend? What bets should we take, Adam? I know you have quite a few. You've already teased a few of them.
Yes, ma'am.
Give it to us.
All right. Let's start with the Chargers over the Browns. Take the points and take the Chargers to win this football game. I love this bet. It's one of my favorite bets of the weekend. Chargers to dominate the Cleveland Browns this weekend. My first bet of the weekend. Jeff.
No, you're going. Take the lead.
Oh, all right.
I'm not.
Well, thank you so much.
Yeah, I'm not. I don't have no. You're asking a guy you can't even legally bet.
I am willing to entertain your bet. Go ahead.
Okay, I think, and this is a crazy bet, but Wilder.
Don't you dare.
No, Wilder Fury is this weekend.
Oh, okay.
Oh, no,
It is plus 2,200 for it to go to a draw, and the first fight did go to a draw. So put $10 on that. Otherwise, I'd take Fury in the third round at plus 1,600. I'm going crazy with it.
Wow. Okay.
Plus 20.
Okay.
What was it? Plus what?
Do you really believe that the costume really impacted Deontay?
No, just like the gloves and the cheating scandal. No, Wilder's a baby. He's a wine baby.
Well, look at the first fight, right? I mean, he looked really sharp.
Yeah, but what
and he
happens,
could have won that fight easily.
Yeah, but when the
and
Gypsy King hits you,
Fury though in the second fight just was like 10 levels ahead of him.
He's got new trainers and he pieced them up.
Well, and he did get knocked down. I mean, that did happen, but he rose up like the Undertaker and took care of business. The Gypsy King will get it done. Honestly, you could go on my bookie. I was just looking at the odds. Like even plus 1,200 for like a 7th round knockout by Fury.
Are you serious?
That's not bad.
That's true.
Yeah, round picking is always weird, and I always suck at it, so don't believe anything I say. But plus 2,200 for a draw, plus 1,600 for a round 3 knockout by Fury.
All right, I don't mind that. My second bet of the weekend is going to be a team to win overseas. A team to win their second straight game and improve to 2-3.
Overseas?
The New York Jets to beat the Atlanta Falcons in London, 9:30 a.m. Eastern kickoff time. I can't wait. I get to wake up on a Sunday morning. I will be down at O'Toole's, but on the TVs, there will be football going on, and that's an amazing feeling. Having said that, Jets to win, take the money line. That's another underdog. I have multiple underdogs this week that I'm looking forward to. The Jets being one of them. I would take the Jets money line straight up there. I'll move on to the Jacksonville Jaguars game. Take the Tennessee Titans minus 4.5 points. I love that pick. Again, coming off a scandalous week, I think the Titans are going to absolutely steamroll the Jags, probably cost Urban Meyer his job. And keep in mind, Tennessee coming off a bad loss to the winless at the time New York Jets. My final game of the weekend that I am very much excited for, that I am also going to take the points on, is another New York team. I think the New York Giants, like I said earlier in the show, cover the 7 points. This is a tricky game. It's a division game. I think Dallas jumps out to a big lead early, but the Giants do just enough to cover. I'm going to take the 7 points for the Giants. If you guys want one more bet over the weekend, I'll go to college football, but I'll give a parlay. I would parlay Penn State to win. I would parlay Michigan State to cover and Michigan to cover. Those are my 3 weekend college football bets. Take Notre Dame to lose just to piss off Kennedy.
Literally buy.
Whoever takes Notre Dame to lose over the weekend and DMs me a screenshot of it, I'm gonna give you a prize. I don't know what it is yet. I have to figure that out. But if you send me your ticket on social media betting against Kennedy and Notre Dame, I will take care of it.
I'm doing it right now.
I have not bet on Notre Dame once this year because I just never know what's going to happen. So that is a risk you guys are willing to take, not me. If you want my bets of the weekend, which no one does, parlay Bowling Green
Boo.
and Toledo. They're both going to win. There you go.
You and your Maction.
I love the Maction, but BG and Toledo are going to win. BG takes
Fish.
on Akron. Toledo takes on Northern Illinois.
Fish,
Easy dubs.
I need to know, Fish, are the Lions winning this weekend?
God, yeah, they're winning.
Huh?
Yes, they're winning.
They're winning?
Yeah.
It's simple. That's it. They're just going to win.
I mean, they'll win by 7.
Okay.
They still haven't hit 7 losses yet, Fish.
I
So
know
you
they
what?
haven't. I still
Climb all the way to
believe.
10.
I
So they
still
still have a
believe.
chance, bud.
Yeah, unlike the other person. No, what are you gonna do?
All
You're
right,
not the
fair
one
enough.
getting a tattoo, Fish. So hush it.
He's fair
you
enough.
didn't, you didn't put a bet on it.
Art, you willing to make a bet with Fish?
What is the
If
bet?
the Lions win, you have to get another tattoo of my choice on the weekend.
No, not of your choice. Never. No.
Or it's like, you guys are killing
I know
me.
you well enough. No.
Would you tattoo my face on your body?
For $10,000, yes.
Only 10 grand? You would do that?
Yeah, but Chad would have to pay me today, and I'll get it done this weekend.
Okay. Art,
Would you
hold
get
on.
my name written across your stomach?
No, that's too much.
No?
No.
20 grand?
No, I could just say, like, if I had your face tattooed on me, I could say you're, like, super famous and overseas, and they'd be like, oh, cool. I wouldn't have to say
Well, he is super
you know,
famous
the disgruntled
overseas. That's
Lions
not
guy.
a lie.
Oh, we have
I
a
hate
good
you guys.
question in the chat.
Your name is
Honestly,
revolving
folks,
around
if
Lebanon
you had
all
to
the
bet,
time.
who will get their first win? Oh, like who will win
Who
first?
will win first?
The Lions
Yeah.
or the Jags?
Lions,
I gotta say
please.
Jags.
Oh boy.
I think the Lions
The
have
Jags
to.
play the Texans, guys, twice. The Lions are playing away to Minnesota, home to Cincinnati, away to Los Angeles,
Yeah, I don't even.
home to Philly.
Listen, I don't even care. I just can't stomach the fact that Dan Campbell would be the only man in the league without a win. I just can't
I
stomach
tried
it.
to tell you
That
guys,
does
and you guys all sat up here. You guys all
listen.
sat up here preseason. You're a hater. You hate the Lions, Adam.
Adam-
Oh my
Adam,
God,
what was your
you're
record
so
prediction?
mean. They're gonna prove you wrong. They're gonna win 9-10 games. Dan Campbell
still
is gonna
could.
change
Okay,
the
Adam,
culture.
I
Shut
think
up.
Adam's prediction was
Shut
like
up,
4
you
games,
idiots.
right?
What was your prediction?
Time out. Wasn't
5
your
games?
prediction like 4 games?
It was 5.
4 and 13.
Okay.
You moved it up. You said 5.
Well, I took the over when it was betting. We talked about
Well, we
betting.
did final predictions. I said before the season, I said 6. You said 5. 5.
Yeah. I gave him a boost. I think right before San Francisco, I was willing to give him a 1 game. That was prior to this whole disaster.
We can
with
mutually
injuries.
agree. We knew they'd be bad, but like.
Oh, I know. I knew they would be bad.
No, we
mean,
did. There's no one. I mean, you can talk to a couple
I mean, I
people, but
called 0-17 for a reason.
You didn't call it. You said it'd be funny if it happened. Don't,
Well, I
don't
said it could
backtrack
happen.
and
No,
try and
no,
seem
I
like
said
the
it
guy
could
that
happen.
happened.
Jeff, I love it.
Kennedy,
You never
back me
said-
up here.
I
I did
said-
say.
Whoa!
Never
I don't
said-
want to be a part
I
of
did
this.
say. I did say it would be funny. The narrative would be
course.
really good.
You didn't say funny.
Well, I said the narrative would be really good. Like,
Yeah, I love the
but I
storyline. It
could
would
see
be
it
great.
happen. But
yeah,
you could
I
see it
also
happen.
say,
Not for
listen, I also
comedic
say that I'm going to
purposes.
stop complaining about being broke, and here I am every day complaining about it. We could talk about fairy tales all day. You did say it, but you didn't predict it. You did say 4 or 5 wins, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, so going through the season now, are you still saying 4 or 5
It
wins?
might be less.
See, that's how we all. most people
how we all
feel.
feel.
I mean, they're decimated by injuries, though. I mean,
Yes.
this isn't a knock
Yeah,
on
yeah.
like the coaching or.
As long as you
No,
got that
yeah.
straight.
Yeah,
you kind
no,
of
no.
were starting to go in the direction of like, I told all of you. I'm like,
Well, no,
well.
I did tell you that they were going to be a bad team. You
And
guys
I did too.
actually- There were people in this
mutually
building
agreed.
But we would be a
that
better
thought they
team
would
if
win
not everyone
8,
was
9,
hurt.
10 games.
Stick.
Let-
You can name those people. Name them right now.
Art, Stick, Fish,
There you go.
Darren McCarty, Joey Bell thought they would win more games. Do you want me to keep calling out people?
That's
Do
it.
it.
I think that's really it. Who else?
So
Wow,
no.
this-
And there are multiple people on Twitter, especially those fan accounts,
Yeah.
that love to say, "This is our week. We're gonna torch the Niners, Adam. 55-21."
Well,
Shut
Twitter's
the
a
hell up.
different animal.
You idiot.
People that don't.
You idiot. Literally, some of these people drive me nuts. Like, I usually don't care, but like have some self-respect. Like, don't every week show up and say the Lions are gonna win. Like, you
Right,
sound like
right.
an idiot. Like, they're a bad football team. Right now,
Maybe
they're
I am an
decimated by
idiot.
injuries, and I promise you, there will be people saying, "We're gonna get the first win this week against the Minnesota
Adam,
Vikings."
you should
I'm
clip
telling
this.
you.
Yeah.
Listen, you need to clip this and post this on Twitter, and I guarantee you'll get nothing but love. The Lions fans, they are
No,
normal.
you should.
They adore Adam.
Art, he should post this on Twitter, and we come in Monday, and we'll do a segment where he just reads his DMs and how awful they are.
If I read my DMs to you guys, we'd be pulled off air within like 10 seconds.
Yeah, we'd all be crying.
Yeah,
right
you guys
now.
think O.J. Simpson gets hate mail? I'll give you guys my Twitter login, and you guys can read the DMs I get.
I don't know why you're stressed, Adam. I don't get it. It makes no sense.
Oh my goodness! But no, those are the bets for the weekend. Let's revisit Lions-Vikings before we have to get out of here.
Okay.
Kennedy, You're quick. Just give me your final score prediction. Oof. All right. What happens this weekend? Is it a blowout? Is it a close game? Are the Lions, do they have a chance? I want to get everybody's prediction here before we have to get out.
Not like a blowout, I don't think, but I'm going to say Vikings 23, Lions 13 or 10-ish. That's not a blowout, but not super close either.
Okay, our Vikings 8.5-point favorites right now. Who do you got winning? Vikings, Lions. I need to hear it.
They'll definitely cover the spread, so I think the Vikings will make it happen by at least a touchdown plus. You said it was 8.5?
Yeah, 8.5.
8.5.
Okay.
Yeah, if the spread's 8.5, 9, I think they win by a touchdown and a field goal. I mean, I think this is going to be a blowout. Like, I just do.
Okay.
It's so sad to
Fair
admit
enough.
it.
Fish, I know what you're going to say. You're going to have the Vikings winning. Fish, who do you got?
Lions 35-27.
Oh my
God. 35-27. They've scored 17, 17, and 14 the last 2 weeks. They're supposed to score against one of a top 10 defense in the NFL.
You're on a raft in the middle of nowhere by yourself.
That's
Swim
fine.
the shore.
This is
I'm like
Art
that
saying
every
this,
day,
too.
so I'm used to it.
Just please come home. Please come home. Come home to reality, Fish. It's over.
Fish, if they're 0-7, will you finally just like admit and concede, or like what's it going to take?
They got to be 0-8.
Yeah.
They got to get to 8
Yeah,
for him to break
0-8,
it.
yeah.
They got to get
'cause
over
they could
7
win 10 in a
losses.
row.
If they're
ridiculous.
0-7, Adam, he'll say they're going to win 10
There
straight.
are people that actually thought this team would start 0-3 and then win 6 straight
Yep.
and then lose the remaining games of the year and like or whatever.
Yucky, wucky.
Like you guys are such idiots. It's unbelievable.
I like being called an idiot.
The fan
Fine with me.
delusion. It's look. I'm on board with you guys saying this is a rebuild. They need a few years to be competitive. But I'm not dumb enough to sit up here and say, we're going to win 8 games, 10 games. Hey, it's all going to be great. Dan
It is all
Campbell
going to be
alone
good.
Fish, you have
What are we
right now,
doing?
Fish. You have right now to get off the 10-7 limo before it crashes into a ditch and cuts on fire. Are
Before
you
you're
getting
stranded
off?
fish in the middle of the Pacific.
Yeah.
You're just out there swimming
Fish,
around.
I'm going to cook you for dinner if you don't pick the Lions to lose this week.
Fish,
Well,
get
you-
off the limo.
You better get some fries
Oh
with
my
that.
gosh.
That'll be nice.
Oh my gosh.
All right, Jeff, your final score.
I want
No,
fish and
listen,
chips now.
if they abandon the run, which I'm sure the Vikings will force them to do, it's going to get ugly. And as much as I love Dan Campbell and what he's building, man, I'll say 31-14. I don't know why. That's my prediction.
37-14.
31.
Oh,
37. It could be, listen. It could get out of control. I'm saying 31. I hope they hold them to low 30s.
Look, I mean, realistically, I don't want to be that guy. Let me avoid the game for now. But I'm just saying, let's just go into the future. Let's say there's a world where the Lions do go 0-17, and the Rams somehow win the Super Bowl. I mean, you want to talk about the worst karma in the world?
Is it, though?
I mean, it's pretty bad.
I'd be fine, I think.
Look, again, right now, jokes aside, Detroit right now, they could care less about Stafford. You got 2 first-round picks for him. You have a bridge quarterback. You'll be just fine as long as you continue to make the correct decisions and the right draft picks. Moving on from that, Matthew Stafford right now is trying to change the narrative of himself as a quarterback. He's got Hall of Fame numbers. Can he deliver a division title, multiple postseason wins, an NFC championship appearance, a win, getting to a Super Bowl, maybe winning a Super Bowl? That's what's going to justify or really solidify his career. And if he does that, let's be real, Detroit. You have to look yourselves in the mirror and say, we couldn't build a contending team around that for 12 years.
100%.
We never got the coach right. We never got this right. Like, that will be the conversation if this plays out that way.
I think if they even get to a championship game, it's still embarrassing.
Easily.
Yeah, it's
if
still
they
just
win the
as
division and
embarrassing.
win a playoff game and they're in the NFC championship game, that alone tells me everything I need to know, even though I already know it.
Yeah.
But still, we'll see how it plays out. Regarding the game, I've got the Vikings winning 37-14.
Okay.
I mean, it's going to be tough. How are you?
This is me
honestly,
right now. My reaction. Like, what do you do?
How are you going to actually? How can I give the Lions the benefit of the doubt this week?
Right.
It's hard. It's hard.
You could give it to them against a rookie starting quarterback in Chicago. Okay, understood. You were playing better than Chicago was at the time, and then you still lost that game. Now you're playing a Minnesota team, narrative-wise. They're not falling to 1-4 at home against Detroit. That'll cost Zimmer and Cousins.
Well, that is right. You're 100% right on that. Yeah.
So you don't want to be 1-4, same record as the Lions, after playing them at home. That would be disastrous for the Minnesota Vikings, considering how well they've played. Now, Dalvin Cook needs to play well. You have 2 wide receivers. I'm not sure who's going to guard them in the secondary. So I'm going to take 37-14. Lions are going to struggle. We got to get out of here. Kennedy, tell everybody what's going on tonight and Sunday, please.
Tonight, obviously, we've got Friday Night Clash. And then over the weekend, you got to hang out with us. Remember, come out to O'Toole's. And then afterwards, head to the Brass Rail downtown to hang out with Stick. You guys, coming up next, we've got Big D Energy with Neil Rule, Joik Bell, and Darren McCarty. You guys know they're going to be squad deep in here. You guys are not going to want to miss this show. I promise you it'll be so dramatic. Do not miss it. All right. Thanks for hanging out with us. We will see you on Monday.